that's equidistant from the surface across a curve, that's level. So you could do that on your giant sphere in your kitchen. You can draw on your giant sphere in your kitchen if you put some pins in there, all the same height, and join them with some string. Then they're all going to be level. That's going to be level. It's going to curve around, but it's going to be level to the surface of that sphere.
At a point, your man said.
No,
only at one
all
point.
The way. No,
he said only at a point.
Level.
Shit's only level.
Well, we're disagreeing with that. I mean, I'm sure. Again, this comes down to semantics, but yeah.
Each individual point is level.
Yeah, sure.
To each
and you put
other,
them together.
they're not necessarily level. As a whole,
Captain Save-O.
They create a circle. That circle is equal distance from the center of the circle.
That's level by definition.
Of an assumed sphere or an actual sphere?
Doesn't make any difference whether it's assumed or actual. We're talking about geometric concept here, so it doesn't matter whether it's a sphere in your imagination or it's a physical sphere, does it?
Yeah, so far, I have a giant Earth-sized sphere up against the wall in my kitchen in this hypothetical scenario we built.
You're retarded.
And it's never level or horizontal.
Well, I like your sphere on the table example because it actually is a pretty good example of what we're talking about. There's only one place on that ball that's sitting on your table where a horizontal will be the same as a level. There's only one point on that whole ball.
I'm envisioning
because we're in a gravitational field, so we can only deal with the one line that goes.
My sphere looks like a pear. What's going on here?
You could hear that I was talking, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I guess you couldn't. So, what do you think about that, Jeremy? There's a coincident horizontal and level on a ball sitting on your table. It's only at one point. Like that picture.
No, I could have it level at the bottom too. I can make the top and the bottom. How are you? I mean, it would obviously.
That's what he was saying. The bottom, the part that's touching the table,
2 points.
is the only point that's touching the table.
No, I could put a spirit level on the top of the sphere, and then we got level at that point too. No,
yeah, I agree with that.
And you can put it on the side, and it'll be level as well.
No, it won't.
Relative to that sphere, yes, it will.
Yeah.
Not to the earth below the table.
We're talking about putting spirit levels and tables on shit. So,
well, this is where we have to go with you, because you don't know what you're talking about. So this is what happened.
And now you've introduced the concept of spirit level. That's not what we're talking about. Why you got to? Why is it? Is he deliberately this stupid, or is it just natural? He's going to talk about spirit level now, and as if that's something relevant.
Moyak brought
discussion
that up.
This is a discussion of geometry of a sphere.
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot. The table.
Jeremy, gaslighting.
Put your spirit level on the side of your sphere. What's going to happen, moron?
Is this sphere as the size of Earth, with gravity of Earth, and independent from another sphere that's also that size?
Oh, you're going to scale it now, right? So if you make it big enough,
if
you make it big enough, you moron, the spirit level will not.
No, we're talking about the Earth.
On the side of a ball.
We're not making anything. We're using the Earth. Yes, a spirit level on the side of the Earth, as you put it, will read level. Yes.
I guess the way that you could show it would be like if you took the level and held it on top of the ball and then rolled the ball around and the spirit level remains fixed. That's kind of what's happening.
How about if you not
gravity is always
roll the level? How about if you roll the level around the ball? What happens?
That wouldn't be what we'd experience on Earth.
Yeah, because you're in freaking fantasy land. Yeah.
Fantasy land. Thanks.
You can wave your hands and pretend gravity exists, but it doesn't stop it from existing.
Nobody says gravity doesn't exist, but it's not the fantasy thing you think.
Lots of people say that.
Well, if gravity does exist, then it's going to pull the spirit, the bubble and the spirit level, so that it will remain level, won't it, on the side, quotation mark, of the Earth.
No.
You're dreaming in fantasy land. Show me a spirit level on the side of a ball conforming to that.
All right, I'm going to ask this again one more time. What force would be making that spirit level on the side of the ball go towards outer space?
Show us your example. Don't just talk. Show me your example. You know you cannot do it, right? You know
We've
it's a
showed you
fantasy, right?
examples, little arrows pointing towards the center of the ball in all directions, the only logical way that it could work. You should understand this.
No, I
I
can't.
don't understand fantasy. I don't conform to fantasy. Sorry.
No,
Well-
I cannot show you a model Earth that is scaled to the size of Earth. Sorry, I can't do it.
That's right.
Do you
So
win-
stop
do you
making
win- do you-
shit up. Stop making
Well, do you
shit
win?
up.
Does that mean you win the argument? I think not.
I think it means that you cannot
Show
show your
me-
fantasy. So stop talking
Show
about
me
it.
a model. Show me a model of the flat Earth where the gravity holds things down.
Why would it need to?
Exactly.
Because because I'm held to the Earth right now. I'm living on your flat Earth.
Not if you're on a horizontal plane.
Something's holding me down.
You don't need to be held down, you move freely across it.
I don't move freely across it. I'm held down.
But you can go forwards and backwards without gravity.
No, I can't.
Of course you can.
If there's no gravity, I wouldn't have any friction on the Earth. I wouldn't be able to move. I'd be floating above it.
You
Why would
clap
you-
your arms and get a little motion.
So you actually think that gravity is holding you down on the ground, and if it wasn't there, you'd float off into space?
That's what
Correct.
they believe. That's what they believe.
Interesting.
Well, actually, I would just stay wherever I was unless I added a force.
Yeah, sure. But you don't have an explanation for why things fall down. If you're denying gravity, I mean, SC Montreal saying he does believe in gravity or he doesn't. I don't understand. He's in some sort of, I don't know what's going on.
Falsification is independent.
Let me
of
make it easy
replacement.
for you so you can understand, okay? Ready? Since caveman days, when a caveman threw a rock up, he saw it fall back down, right? And he knew if he didn't move out of the way, it hit him in the head. He also saw that if somebody fell off a cliff, they would die. So now, one guy called Newton came along and said it's matter attracting matter. Wrong. Then another guy came along and said it's the bending of the fabric of space-time. Wrong. So this is where we're at now.
What do you think you've just proved?
I just
Fucking
proved
cat.
that both models of gravity are incorrect.
You haven't proved squat. You just said the word wrong after you said something. That doesn't prove shit. What the fuck? You just
Genius.
said something and then you said the
Genius.
word
Show
wrong
me
after.
the gravities.
You said Einstein had spinning as base time, and after that you said wrong. And
That's
that
right.
proved something?
Wrong. Listen up.
You
The
are
fabric-
such a cretin. You are
Listen
such
up,
an
you
imbecile.
fucking jerk. Listen up. You've been brainwashed. The fabric of space-time does not exist. It's something that Einstein pulled out of his ass and convinced you, the clown. Do you understand?
The caveman discovered that new gravity exists, and then you're so stupid you know less than the fucking caveman.
Correct. You're so stupid because you listened to a guy named Newton and Einstein. Correct. You're stupider than the caveman. Yes.
No, you're stupider than the caveman because you don't believe gravity.
Obviously, you didn't hear a word I
Trying
fucking
to
told you.
conflate the cause with the effect.
Why?
Yeah. What's the cause?
I don't need to know the cause of anything. If gravity exists, it'll pull the spirit level, the water and the spirit level down. And so on the side of my planet, the spirit level is going to be showing level on the side of the planet. I don't give a shit what causes it.
Is wind
story,
a
bro.
cause or
Get out
an
of your
effect?
ass. You got big words? Show
Come on,
us.
Poe.
Show us.
Show
Poe,
you what?
is wind a cause or an effect? Pick one. You want to play that?
Show us the cause of gravity. Go.
Notice he's silent.
Talking to me,
Weird,
bro?
that, isn't it? When you actually start to drill into that.
No,
thing.
hold on.
So,
Kurt,
you know, I
referring
can
to
say
me?
the cause of gravity is mass. You know,
Oh, really?
No
I
mass,
can
no
tell you
gravity.
it's something in the
so
middle of
there
the
you
earth.
go.
And
We
I can
can
name
use
it
that.
Boola
and
Booga Booga.
I'm sure I can finish a sentence without someone interrupting me, like Essie. But carry on, Essie.
No, I was just
Make
saying, you
more
hate the
groundless
gravity.
claims
I
that you
can
can't
name
back
it
up.
something
We're
Booga
we're
Booga
interested.
Booga.
If I may be allowed to interject here, gentlemen, like SC Montreal said, Newtonian's mass attracting mass gravity, that's a theory, has been superseded with the bending and warping of space-time fabric. Einsteinium, right? But even that's
Yeah,
a theory.
which is fine.
Gravity,
Both
you're
of
talking
which,
over me
Jim,
now.
require mass.
Now you're talking over me. Now you're talking
Oh,
over
sorry,
me. Right.
I thought you asked me a question and I was responding to
Well,
it.
I wasn't asking. I was making a statement. Actually, and that is this.
Oh, sorry.
It's been superseded by Einstein's theory of gravity, special relativity, and it's crap. It hasn't been proven yet. Plus, Sir Isaac Newton himself said he didn't agree with the idea of that mass attracting mass, and he didn't want his name to be ascribed. He said,
No, he's happy for his name to be ascribed to it. He just didn't want to actually say what the cause was because he didn't know. And in either case, whether you're looking at an Einsteinian model or whether you look at the Newtonian model, both of which require mass to invoke gravity. So I can say that mass is a cause.
So you know
Perfectly
better
accurate.
what Einstein, what Newton meant better than him. Of course you guys do.
No, I didn't. I never made that claim at all.
You're the one that claims to know that Einstein was wrong because you just said they're wrong. You're the one that's making the claim that you're more brilliant than Newton.
The only
Of
claim
course,
I've
I'm
made is
smarter
to have
than
gravity,
Einstein.
you
If
must have
if
mass.
Einstein said there's a fabric of space-time, I am smarter than Einstein. Yes, he is a fool. There's no such thing as the fabric of space-time.
Oh God, you know what he's doing.
Yeah, we got the
guy's off a minute, isn't he?
Genius.
Yeah, you got conned by a fucking moron
whipping
called
your dick out
Einstein.
here, buddy.
You think he's the knowledge, the bearer of fruit. You think he's the god. No, I'm
No,
telling
you're
you.
actually
Einstein
discussing.
was a clown and he got just about everything wrong. And most of the stuff that he got right, he stole it from somebody else.
Yeah, I figured out exactly who you're talking about now. It's not Einstein. You're mixing up your historical figures. It's Joseph Smith, the founder of Mormonism. That's who you're talking about. I'm sure of it.
It's easier to fool someone than to convince them that they've been fooled.
Correct.
Let me ask you, SE, though, how if you're claiming that Einstein is a fool, you're actually smarter than he is. How are you going to feel at the end of your life when that fact being in place has only been recognized by you and no other human being?
I will tell you how I
Oh, that's
feel.
a beautiful question.
And mark my words. When Einstein the fool will be found out that his fabric of space-time is wrong, you will be the one that has to look inside. Because I tell you, Einstein was wrong.
Okay,
There's
so
no such
do
thing
you,
as the
let me ask
fabric
you then.
of
Let me ask you.
space-time.
Okay. Let me ask you then. Do you have a strategy that will lead to that state of affairs where what you've just described occurs?
Yes, it's called time. There's going to be a lot of more people waking
Your
up.
strategy is time.
Just to wait.
Yes, I'll just have to wait till the idiots like you wake
Right.
up and realize that Einstein was wrong about the space.
There's a problem, actually. You can't invoke time because you don't know the cause of it.
That's right. You don't know the cause of it. That's why
And you don't know the
he's
cause
wrong.
of time, so you can't invoke it. And actually, I said, I do know one of the causes of gravity. It's mass. And you pivoted around and ignored that statement. And then you tried to drag it into, I was talking about Newtonian mechanics, and I said, no, in both Newtonian and Einsteinian mechanics, mass is a
Oh, go
requirement
ahead and
for
talk over
gravity.
me while I talk.
Time
I was finishing my point.
SE was talking about the convention of time. He needs to just wait.
Well,
Time
time's
is
not
a
real.
concept.
We all
Let
use
me
it.
tell you why I'm sure, gentlemen. Let me tell you why I'm sure.
I'm invoking the
Time-
convention of gravity.
Yeah, you're right. Gravity is man-made.
I just hope it's effective. Just sitting back and essentially what you're saying is you're going to do nothing, and this you're hoping that this is going to be revealed somehow.
It already
I don't
is
think
revealed to
that doesn't
anybody.
sound like a very effective strategy to me.
No,
Jem,
I bet some money
anybody that
that's not
has
going
half
to
a
work.
brain knows that there's no such thing as the fabric of space-time.
Jem,
Anybody
all we
that
gotta
has
do is
half a
sit back.
brain knows that already.
Well, that's
Jem,
not
all we
true.
gotta do is
That's
sit
just
back,
you
relax.
saying something wrong.
I mean, you as an atheist would say, you know, it's stupid to think that a God exists. You know, you're an atheist, Essie, so, you know, that would be a stupid thing to this, but lots of atheists would say that. Some won't, some are smarter.
Jeremy, go ahead, man. You've been trying to get in.
Sorry, Jeremy.
Jim, all we got to do is sit back, relax, catch a contact, sip your cognac. We could all wash this money through the laundromat.
You.
Yes, well, rapping as well. That's a strategy, I guess. But I'm not sure if it's the most effective one for overthrowing
You ain't heard Witsit and Chemo on
the
wax
conventions
yet.
of mainstream science.
That's because you ain't heard Witsit and Chemo on wax yet.
Oh God!
Because I think what you have to do is to point out all the flaws and all the experimental proofs that Einstein was correct. Countless experiments that have proved him correct time and time again. I guess you'd have to go through and explain where each of those experiments is flawed.
We've done that time and time again.
Jem, do you honestly believe in your heart of hearts that there's such a thing as the fabric of space-time, Jem?
It's entirely irrelevant to my life. Entirely irrelevant. That's the problem, though. This is what I'm trying to put to you. Clearly, this is not irrelevant to your life. This belief goes alongside these other beliefs. That Einstein was a fool. That you are actually cleverer than he is. I don't have any of that baggage. I don't really care if Einstein was right. I don't really care if Einstein was correct or not. I think it's a very. I think these are very difficult concepts to understand anyway. I don't have a really good grasp of them. It's entirely irrelevant to my existence if Einstein was correct or not.
Jem,
so
your whole reality.
It's just a belief. Thank you for admitting.
Jem, your whole reality is sitting on
I didn't say. Why would you say that? Hold on, SE. Yeah, flat Earth is a complete load of bollocks and an absolute lie. Thank you. Okay, I've got that now, SE. Thank you for saying that. Thanks.
I agree with Jem.
Is it not true that I offend you?
We're just going to make shit up and put words in completely unsaid words in each other's mouth. Thank you for admitting that flat Earth is complete bullshit. Well done.
So you do see that?
I'll quote SE from that. Yep.
Well, Jem, it's okay. You think beliefs are knowledge, so you're fine.
But let me get this straight, Jem. Do you think that it's
no? That's not true. I think that knowledge is belief. Our beliefs. All knowledge starts with a belief. Unless you can provide me with an example of something that you know to be true, that you do not believe to be true.
So let me get this straight. You believe in the fabric of space-time, and nothing I tell you will change that because you believe it because this man who you think is smarter than you, Einstein, told you.
How did you get that from my statement, which was it's entirely irrelevant to me whether he is correct or not? That is the essence. That is the essence of the point I've made, and what you've derived from that is it's just a belief and you believe it. How have you got that completely? Hold on, Jeremy. How have you got that completely different meaning, SE, to the words I actually said? How have you derived that?
Well, do you not
because
it?
I'll tell you.
Again, as I've just made the point, if we're having a conversation where I say something and then you just make some shit up that you think I've said and respond to the made up shit, that's not going to be a conversation, is it? You may as well just sit there talking to yourself, making up my responses because you're doing that anyway.
Belief? Isn't it your
belief?
You said
you believe it. Do you not believe it?
You said you believe it. It's your belief.
I thought
you don't make it
guys. Jem, you said everything starts with a belief and turns into knowledge.
Let me deal with this idiotic pack of dogs that said, you said you believe it. Belief. Is it a belief? You said you believe it. Are you fucking mental?
Maybe mental.
Now then, to return to Jeremy, let's make the point for you morons so that you understand. Jeremy, give me an example of something that you
just call us morons?
Yes, you moron. Give me an example of something that you know to be true.
Give us the cause of gravity.
Am I going to have to mute you, Rikia?
Yes.
Give me an example of something that you know to be true that you do not believe to be true.
No, I was just wondering if you said that everything starts with a belief and then turns into knowledge.
I'm demonstrating that to you now. Can you provide me with such an example?
Well, it doesn't. I can't provide you with that example, but it doesn't start the way you said. It doesn't work the way you said, though.
The reason you can't
believe.
The reason you can't provide me with such an example is because everything that you know to be true, you also believe to be true. Your knowledge, in this sense, of the things you know to be true, are also things that you believe to be true. Got it, Rakia?
It doesn't work the way you said.
That does not mean that all beliefs are knowledge. All knowledge is beliefs. Knowledge is a subset of belief. It's a special belief.
Said it
it's a special belief. It's a special.
You prove it every day on
it's a special belief.
Site.
It's a special belief that meets a special set of criteria that qualify it as knowledge.
But you're wrong, because Jeremy like is pointing out something that you didn't catch. That you said something wrong.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me what I said.
Is my mic low? Is
No,
my
you're
mic
good,
low?
man.
Yeah, you said everything starts with a belief. It doesn't. That's not how it works.
I didn't say that. You kept saying I said that. I never said that.
No, you did. You said it starts with a belief.
I don't think I did.
You did say it.
When you could not believe something. And
well, what does that mean then? What do you mean?
It could start with the justification of something you don't believe, and then you come to see the justification, and then have the belief after.
How? How would that work?
So, for instance, if I'm confronted with something that I don't believe, right, and someone shows me the justification, right, because the knowledge is justified true belief. So they show me the justification that they have, and then I come to believe, and I come to know it and believe it at the same time. The belief comes after.
Or you could just know something first.
So you just said, I come to know it and believe it at the same time. The belief comes after. So which is it?
You could,
it comes
are they at
after
the same time?
So it doesn't start with belief. It started with justification in that
Are they at the
instance.
same time? Are they at the same time, or is belief after the knowledge?
No, the belief and knowledge at the same time, but the justification come first.
So they're at the same time.
You don't listen to anything.
So they're at the same time.
It starts with belief. You're wrong.
How is this relevant to anything? I don't think I even said. I don't think I even said that phrase. Jeremy said
it starts
it
with belief.
repeatedly.
That's what you said.
But so what? All right, it starts with knowledge. What difference does that fucking make? It doesn't. But what difference does it fucking make?
I didn't say it starts with knowledge. I said it starts with justification sometimes when you're presented with evidence.
All we're talking about is knowledge and belief. Justification is not part of it.
Oh, now you're.
That's one of our qualifications.
Now you're
for
trying
knowledge.
to dictate what we're talking about.
Look, that's one of the qualifications for knowledge. You can't just throw it in as an extra alternative. We have belief. Hold on. What you're saying now is we have knowledge of things, we have belief of things, and then we have justification of things. What does that mean? What does justification
What's required
mean?
for knowledge?
Right.
What's required for knowledge?
It's one of the things that's required for knowledge, but it isn't a separate thing on its own that we can a position that we can hold on the existence of a proposition. Shut up! Of a proposition being correct.
Wow, man, you need a break.
It isn't just we can believe a proposition is correct. We can know a proposition is correct. But we can't justification a proposition is correct. You've just thrown that in out of nowhere, and it's not part of this discussion.
It is very much relevant. We're talking about knowledge. Knowledge requires both belief and justification. Belief without justification is not knowledge. Justification without belief is not knowledge.
That's correct. But again, you can't justification something to be true. You can believe something to be true. You can know it to be true. Justification is one of the elements that qualifies something as knowledge. It's not a separate position that you can hold on a truth claim.
No one claimed it was, but you said it starts with a belief, and that's not.
What are we arguing about here? What is?
Yeah, you said it starts with a belief, and I was just pointing out that you're wrong.
Well, again, for the 8th time, I didn't say it starts with belief, but but
you did. That's why you said, "I gotta get this pack of dogs that are saying belief."
Right.
Yeah, right. Well, so you did say belief.
But okay, let's say for the sake of argument,
let's say you're wrong.
Let's say for the sake of argument, I said. Let's say.
I feel like you're.
Are you gonna fucking interrupt me again? How many fucking yelling?
Fucking
shut up.
I agree with you.
Take a break, Jim.
Jem, real quick, I agree with you. They are mutually inclusive. Belief and knowledge are mutually inclusive. You can't have one without the other. I agree with you. Okay?
That's what Jem's whole point was. So
Right. You did say that thing wrong where you said it starts with a belief. It has to start with a belief. That's not the case.
Right. So I said it wrong. I said things start with belief. You have so far failed to establish anything starting with knowledge. All you've done is managed to come up with an example where you claim that, and this still isn't established, that the two things came at the same time. But let me give you that. Let's say you've established that somehow you get knowledge first. Before you,
I never claimed that you get it first.
Let's say you do. You did. You fucking did.
No, you're strawmanning me.
Well, am I right or wrong in saying it starts with belief?
You were wrong about that.
It's not wrong.
Because you can not believe it. You can be presented with a justification, and it could start with justification.
If it doesn't start with belief and it doesn't start with knowledge, what?
It can start with justification. Again, knowledge is those two things. So you can have the route being justification, and then that gives you the knowledge and belief. Or it could be the belief, and then you come and see the justification.
You still have a belief position on the proposition. How can you not?
Not if you're presented, if you don't believe it, and then you present it with justification, and then
how?
You come to believe
Justification
it and know
for what?
Simultaneously.
Justification for what? What would the justification be for if you didn't previously have a belief or knowledge of something?
For the knowledge that someone is presenting to you. They're presenting to you the justification which you do not have a belief on yet.
So now you're saying... So now you're saying the justification is for the knowledge that you already have.
No, someone else is presenting it to you.
So
you
what is the justification
for? You don't know about it. They present to you the evidence. Then you make a belief / knowledge like a stat.
So you have justification. What is the justification for?
Whatever the claim is, whatever the knowledge, the truth is.
Right. So that would be, there would already be a claim that you already had a position.
No, again, you don't have a position.
How could there not be?
Someone is presenting to you evidence. You don't have a position.
So you don't have
a justification that convinces you that it is true. That gives you the belief.
So they're justifying to you something that you have no knowledge or belief on whatsoever.
Yeah, what do you think evidence is?
So they're saying this is why X is true, but you have absolutely X is not part of your existence.
You don't know. You're at the stance of you don't know because you've never been exposed to the evidence. Is that impossible to not know something?
No, that isn't what I asked you. I didn't say you can't know something. Right. You're saying, in fact, let me get back to my point. Let's say I'm wrong. You're saying that somehow justification and I don't know. You're saying that somehow knowledge.
The only thing I'm saying, Jem, real quick. The only thing I'm saying is there's two routes.
Why do you always have to do this?
Well, you seem like you were kind of like.
You can hear me struggling. You can hear me struggling to make a point. So you think the best way to help him out, make this point, will be for me to fucking interrupt it?
No,
Shut the fuck up. So you're claiming that knowledge and belief arrive at the same time somehow. I'm wrong. Now what? Where does this get us? You proved me wrong and we're all giggling that I said belief. Go ahead. Where does this get you?
No, I'm just saying, because you called us a pack of dogs and morons when you're the one that made the mistake.
I didn't make a mistake. You haven't established.
Jem, if I might be allowed to interject there, Jem.
You're not allowed to interject, Jin. You won't say anything fucking relevant to the conversation whatsoever. So all this is about.
Point.
Well, you haven't established that what you're saying is true. I still say it does start with belief. You cannot have any justification for anything until you've got some sort of belief position on it. Else, what is the it's justification, but it's not for anything. You have to have the justification has to be attached to a belief claim or a knowledge claim, and then you have a position on that.
Exactly.
No, let's say there's a species in really deep ocean. There's a species that you've never even heard of. Okay, and then someone or on planet Earth or whatever, you see this this.
Look, don't bother percentage. Let's not waste any more time on this.
Well, no, let me respond to you.
You've made the point that we've got to the point that this leads nowhere. It's just Jem said something wrong, even though I haven't. And you have to establish
and I'm
that.
explaining to you how.
Well, you haven't.
cannot know a thing about something and then be presented with the justification and then make.
But then you know something about it.
That it is true.
How can you justify something if I don't have any? If there's no belief or knowledge first? That
because
justification.
The evidence is the justification. You justify it to something else, or you see it for yourself, and that's just justifying something that you didn't have any belief claim on whatsoever.
And at that point, you believe it.
Hold on, it's a necessary. It's a necessary antecedent, to coin a useless phrase, of justification. That justification is attached to something. It has to be a justification of something. You can't just have a free-floating justification. It has to be for some specific thing. It has to be evidence. It has to be evidence supporting a specific proposition. And once you have that specific proposition, you've got a knowledge or a belief on something.
I know, but you can see the evidence before even knowing what the proposition is first. You see that.
But it's meaningless to you until you have. But it doesn't mean anything. But it doesn't mean anything until it's attached to the proposition. You have to consider. You have to consider the justification.
Justification. The other one is justification and then belief.
You have to consider the justification in terms of the proposition. Else it's, you can't say, look, here I can prove that here's my justification for this fish at the bottom of the sea until I know that there's a fish at the bottom of the sea. Because what I might be needing is justification that bananas grow on trees. Right. And you say, look, here it is. I've got video of it. I've got video of my fish under the sea. And I'm there. Well, what's that tell me about my bananas? The proposition has to be there first, right? You cannot. The justification is useless without it being attached to some proposition.
Thank you.
So I'm not wrong.
Right? Can I now?
Jim's not wrong. You're not wrong, Jim.
Right? Who was telling me to stop shouting?
Mic check. Can anyone hear me? Right.
No, it wasn't autism, was it? Some Australian person.
Someone.
Oh, sorry.
No.
At school, I was told gravity exists. Anyone listening? At school, I was told gravity exists. I believed it to be true, but it wasn't true. I believed it to be true until I went and checked, and then I discovered that it's not real. So yeah, I believe something is. I can believe in something, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's true, does it? Does it?
Well, we're not talking about truth. We're talking about knowledge, Jim. You've got a category error in your argument.
Yeah. I'm going to say that.
You want to correct your category error?
We don't carry our beliefs in the flat earth now. We only carry the knowledge of things regarding the earth.
But Jim, you've just basically conflated knowledge and truth to be the same thing, and they're not.
No.
Wrong about things that we know about.
I have not.
Yes, you
I
have.
have not. Believing in something doesn't mean you know it.
Yes, we agree.
No one's saying that it does.
Jim explicitly said that in his discussion.
I'm making a distinction between the two. SE still can't accept that I'm correct. If SE wants to demonstrate to me how I'm incorrect, I'd love to hear it. Because percentage has totally failed, and he's pretty good at this stuff.
Try, Jen. I understand that you want to say
the reason that we consider knowledge to be a subset of belief is you cannot.
Okay, so tell me how you can have a free floating justification. A justification.
Justification. You can
because you're saying you can have a justification independent of the proposition that it justifies.
No, I'm saying it comes before the.
No, it doesn't. That's rubbish. That's nonsense.
No, it's not nonsense.
How can it?
You have the justification, the evidence, and you see then, right? Like when people.
So you've got a video of a fish.
Has this belief claim, but before you believe it, you're presented with evidence, and then you.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So look, having a belief on something also means that you can believe something not to be true. It's still a belief position, right?
Yeah, that would be right in your case.
So my point is, if you were saying, as I demonstrated before, and you didn't have a comeback, if you present me with justification of a fish under the sea, that doesn't help me when I want to find out about bananas, does it? That justification, that justification is useless unless it's attached to a proposition. The fact that it is a justification requires that it's attached to a proposition because it's a justification. It is justifying something. So there has to be a proposition for it to be attached to. And if there is a proposition, you have to have a belief or a knowledge position on that as the instant it's presented. However, we must wrap this up, percentage, because as you've admitted, this argument leads nowhere. It's just Jem said something wrong. Only I didn't.
Right, except you did.
I didn't. Well,
so Jem, basically.
Well, this is all right. You have the last word, and we'll call it. You have the last word, percent, and we'll call it a day. There.
Just about.
Hey, Jem, sorry. When you unmute Rakia, he wants to say something to you.
Who else did I mute? Who stick your name in chat? Who was shouting at me to stop shouting, and I'll unmute.
Well, basically, right. Yeah, Jem, you carry a belief that the Earth is a globe, but you have no proof for it.
No, I have knowledge. I know that the Earth is.
No, you don't have any knowledge.
Yes, I do.
The Earth is a globe. You have no knowledge.
All right.
Knowledge would need the evidence and proof, which you cannot provide. So it's a belief you have.
Well, I have evidence. I have evidence.
I have evidence. You have please put
well, that's just silly. Why would I even entertain that silliness?
Present it.
Photos from space.
There you go.
That is not evidence, is it? As you well know.
Oh, under what circumstances? Under what circumstances? Under what circumstances are photographs not evidence? When would that happen?
One.
Can you provide me?
Because the second law of thermodynamics.
I don't care about that silliness that you've got off Nathan Oakley.
So any satellites up there would be a big pork pie, right? Then
you can't use that's super circular argument. Photos exist from space. You can't
any photographs.
You can't use second law of thermodynamics to dismiss a photograph. A photograph stands on its own.
Of course I can, because
you can, but you're being a moron to try.
We cannot leave the Earth to be going out there and taking photographs.
Well, yes, you can, because I've seen photographs from space.
No, you can't.
I've seen photographs from space.
It's lovely that you just believe. It's lovely that you just believe what. Shut up, Jin. It's lovely that you just believe what Quantum Eraser told you, but you know.
It wasn't Quantum Eraser who told me that.
I'm still talking. We both know that you don't have any way of knowing. The only place that you've got it's a violation of the second law of thermodynamics is Quantum Eraser and Nathan Oakley. There are no reputable sources anywhere that say that the vacuum of space is a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. None whatsoever. This is something. Hold on, go on.
Sorry, just going to say, please cite these sources that exist.
Exactly. Go ahead. If you think that this is an idea that that comes from anywhere but Quantum Eraser, show me some reputable source that says the words "the vacuum of space" is a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. Go ahead.
So, Jem, are you saying just because one person came up with something that it should not be considered? Like, for example, Einstein came up with the fabric of space-time. One man.
No, I'm not saying that.
Should we disregard that?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm asking you why you would accept it upon those terms.
Very simple. One man says something, you think about it, and then
but it's not. Hold on. He said it's Mother Nature's laws. Show me where that's true. Show me anyone who's saying, okay, show me how that's true. Okay, right, Jim. No, wait. You've made a claim. It's Mother Nature's laws. Okay, where are Mother Nature's laws written, and where will we see it? Let's have a look at Mother Nature's laws, and we can see where this will be shown as one of Mother Nature's laws.
Did you hear what you just asked Jin? To show you laws of Mother Nature written down somewhere. Are you feeling okay today, Jin?
Okay, so if they're not written down, how do we know what they are?
Mother Nature's laws are this, right? You cannot.
Okay, you can keep making that silly claim, Jin, but it's meaningless bollocks.
You've appealed to the second law of thermodynamics, and now you're saying there's no laws written down. You're the one that's fucking claiming there's some written down.
Right.
So where is it?
Here we go. Mother Nature, are you ready?
Go ahead.
Let the man speak.
Mother Nature tells us that you cannot have a spherical ball called Earth in the middle of the space in a vacuum without
a
container.
So basically, when you say
entropy would ensue.
So I asked you to justify this statement, and your justification, as you've just illustrated to us, what you're showing us is that Mother Nature's laws are just anything that you decide to make up on the spot. As you've just shown us with that you can't have it's Mother Nature's laws that you can't have a ball in space or whatever bullshit, silly, childish nonsense you just spewed out. So thank you very much, Jin. Does anyone have anything else other than Jin just making shit up? You guys are not doing well this morning, I have to say.
We can demonstrate it. That's the point.
Okay, go ahead. What will you demonstrate?
That you can't have a vacuum unless you have a container.
How are you going to demonstrate that?
Well, come on, man. You need to build a container so you can suck the air out. So you got a vacuum.
So you're saying there's a container. So you're saying there is a vacuum, but there's a container outside of it. Then this is quite a new one, Jin.
Earth is in a container, of course. Has to be. Because if Earth wasn't in a container, entropy would ensue. We'd lose all our air, quite clearly.
Okay.
Law.
Okay, so again, but let me ask you again.
You pump a tire, you pump a bicycle tire, you puncture it, the air's gone.
Yeah. Tires go flat. Okay. But again, you've told us it's Mother Nature's law, and I don't know why you bothered. I don't know why. Hang on, Jin. Stop just saying it's Mother Nature's law over and over again. Because we've already established that Mother Nature's law means shit that Jin made up. So thank you for saying this is shit that you've made up.
But not shit that I made up.
Well, okay. So show me. Let's go back to my original question. Show me any reputable source anywhere that says the vacuum of space is a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. Away you go.
I've given you.
I don't care about your stupid claiming. Your shit that Jin made up.
To you clearly.
Do you have
understood what I said?
You're not a reputable source. You're just some knobhead, dickhead, idiot, flat earther. You're not even. You're about as far from a reputable source as a human being could possibly be.
Yeah, you're a pork pie short of a picnic anyway, right? So who are you to speak? Do you know what I mean?
So does any of you other flat earthers have? Are you attached to this claim? And do any of you have any other reputable source which makes it apart from quantum eraser?
So what you're saying is, unless we show you this somewhere written down, you're not going to believe it.
Absolutely, I'm saying that, and I'm not saying I would necessarily believe it if you show me it written down. But my problem is, why would you believe it? Why would you believe it just because quantum eraser said it's true? And when I send you out to look for other sources that are saying it's true, you won't be able to find any. You'll be back to quantum eraser. So why do you believe it?
Let me put it to you this way. No matter who said it, doesn't matter who said it. QE says hot always goes to cold, and the laws of the gases, right? He didn't invent that, but he says that. So I listened to him. Then I listened to this other guy called Newton, and he says matter attracts matter. I don't fucking see it anywhere. So who should I listen to? Where should I go? Where should my thoughts go? To the moron that doesn't show anything, or to some guy called QE that when he says something, I look at it and it works out?
I think your next port of call would maybe be a psychiatrist. Explain to them that you have this flaw in your reasoning where you're surrounded by things absolutely everything in your experience is affected by gravity, but you pretend that you don't see the effects of gravity anywhere.
You're switching.
No, I'm not. That's what you just said. You just said you've heard about this guy called Newton, and he says mass attracts mass, and you don't see that anywhere. And so I think you should go. You should go straight to a psychiatrist. You should go straight to a psychiatrist and say, in my world, things have stopped falling. They don't. That doesn't happen anymore. I just put objects.
And attracting.
He didn't say that.
I have an object in my hand, and I open my hand, and the object just stays there. There's no mass attracting mass anymore.
Jim, go to your psychiatrist and tell him I saw 2 garbage trucks yesterday attracting each other. See what he tells you.
I can fly to work now.
Okay, but look, coming at this, Montreal, with just a really, how can I put it? There's no polite way to put it. An idiotic, childish, deliberately obtuse misunderstanding of the principles involved. That doesn't help you. It just makes you look like a child. It just makes you look like
it makes you look like a respect. You're telling people to go to the psychiatrist.
Yes.
And they're acting childish. Yes. You're telling people that after the last 30 minutes?
Yeah, because he's saying that nowhere in his existence is look. He knows that when we say mass attracting mass, he knows that if you ask for a demonstration of that, I could just drop something. That's probably what most people would do, right? They'd drop the mic. So he knows that. And he knows he's surrounded by... Hang on. He knows he's surrounded by objects that behave in that way, and he knows that this is the explanation for it. But then he wants to pretend that he doesn't see this anywhere. And this is why he believes one lunatic, one mad twat, quantum eraser on the internet over Newton. And, I don't think that that's a very good reason, because I don't think it's honest. It's just making more shit up. And then he comes up with this garbage truck thing, when obviously we wouldn't expect to see 2 garbage trucks attracted together. And there are very, very good reasons for that. And a man of Montreal's age, who's been in this argument the length of time he has, should understand that, and should not have this, why don't things fall off the side of the earth, like 7-year-olds approach to the facts. It's just
the only one that talks
moronic.
Like that is you. And dropping something, drop a helium balloon, and then try and tell me that's gravity. It doesn't add up to some people, right? Now,
yeah, who's sounding like a 7-year-old child now?
By the way, technically, you can call that delusion, because delusion is technically speaking when something that you experience in real life and everything, your whole experience points to it, but you don't believe it for some reason. That's called delusion.
You act like we don't believe that if I drop a pen, it's going to go down. You act like that's what y'all act like, and that's not the case at all.
Really? It goes down?
Okay, well, let's... Okay,
when
if
you drop
that's
a pen,
true...
it goes
down. Yes, SE, it goes down. If you didn't know that.
Amazing. There's an up and down.
But if we're saying that's true, Montreal can't then say, I don't see this anywhere. Because he knows that even that he may not accept that to be the reason for it, but that is still the explanation for it. So to say I don't see the thing that's been...
No, that's not what he's saying at all. You're just witnessing an effect, Jim. You got it all wrong, brother. We all witness the same thing.
You're saying that you don't believe in Newton's gravity because you don't see it anywhere. That's just not true. Now you would say
100%
not what he said.
True.
Yes, that is exactly what he fucking said. He's just said that's true, Rikia, right?
Yeah, I meant the dropping of the pen and things falling down.
Yes, everybody sees that. You have my caveman explanation with the rock, so don't double speak, Jem.
Right, so you can't say that you know for sure that that's not mass attracting mass, can you?
I cannot say that for sure.
Right.
But on the other hand, you cannot say for sure that
therefore,
it is, Jem.
Hang on. So if that could be mass attracting mass, not necessarily, but could be, you can't then say, I don't see mass attracting mass anywhere. Can you?
Yes, I can.
How? Because you've just said you might be seeing it. You've just said you could be seeing it. So how can you have the position that you're definitely not seeing it if you've also got a position that you could be seeing it?
Because I'm hedging my bets, and I don't want to say 100% something like you guys. But I can say for certainty, it's not mass attracting mass or the.
Well, you just told me that you can't say that.
Hold on.
You're totally contradicting yourself.
Make up their bullshit of dark matter.
You're double speaking, Essie.
Yeah.
Everything.
You are double speaking because you've just told me that that it could be that you're seeing mass attracting mass, right? We agreed on that.
I said I'll give it to you because I don't want to say for 100% certainty because we don't know what it is. I'm being honest, unlike you lot.
Hey.
No, you can't say you're not certain.
So
say
it's
you're
not
certain and consider
true.
yourself honest.
So it's not true for you to then say, I believe quantum eraser because the other guy makes this claim and I don't see it anywhere. Because you absolutely could be seeing it anywhere. And what you're telling us is you've already got a belief on this and this is inconvenient to you. So you opt for, I'm not seeing mass attracting mass. When you've already admitted that you might be seeing mass attracting mass.
He's obviously seen both and heard all the stories.
Putting words in my mouth, you're strawmanning.
Yeah.
Well,
I will repeat.
now you're saying
what
he's
I
made
said
a decision when he said he hadn't made a decision.
No, what I'm saying is he's going through that process, Jim. He obviously knows both sides, right?
Okay, so he hasn't made a decision then. It could be one or the other.
You just like the argument,
know
right?
what it is, Jem, and you play word games and think you have something you don't.
Well,
we have two geniuses.
So you've given up the argument and you're just going to tell me I'm wrong.
Why are you interrupting me, Jem?
Okay.
Why are you interrupting me? We have
because you've given up the argument and you're just telling me I'm wrong.
Again
we have two geniuses of our time.
Yeah, because he asked me why I'm interrupting you.
And then we have another genius of our time,
yes,
Einstein, and they both contradict each other.
They don't. That's not true. They don't contradict each other.
Absolutely two different worlds.
But that would be irrelevant. So this is your new reason now. So your old reason was you don't see it anywhere, but now you've admitted that you do see it actually everywhere.
No, Jem, your wordsmithing ain't gonna.
Or you might be seeing it everywhere.
Baba, I said what I said. I believe what I believe, and I stand by.
Well, you said two things that were totally contradictory. On the one hand, you said,
like you did.
On the one hand, you said it could be mass attracting mass.
Negative. I stand by my words.
On the
Newton was wrong.
Well, which words do you stand by?
Wrong.
Hold on. Well, let's check. Hold on. You're muted. Which words do you stand by? Do you stand by it could be mass attracting mass, or I know it's definitely not mass attracting mass? Which words? Because you say you stand by your words, and they're contradictory. Go ahead.
Not change that.
Talked all the way through that. You see.
Your boy Newton was wrong, and you're
okay. I'll ask the question again. Montreal, shut up while I ask the question. You're muted, so there's no point talking. Okay. You say you stand by your words. Which words are you standing by? It could be mass attracting mass, or you definitely know it's not mass attracting mass. Which one is the winner?
You're going to try to put words in my mouth. I'm going to say what I said from the beginning. And I don't give a fuck if you like it or not.
Okay, go
Einstein was wrong.
Have a third
Newton was wrong. That's why they came up with the fabric of space-time. I'm sorry, with dark energy, dark matter. Anything you say, Jem, will not change that. Both of your boys are wrong.
So it's a religious belief that you just really want to believe and you don't have any reasoning to offer for it. And
by the way, given
Quantum Eraser, nearly there, mate. Quantum Eraser said some things that you really liked, so you just repeat them, and you don't really know why you're repeating them. You don't really know why you're repeating them. They're just convenient to you, so you repeat them. Okay, I've got it.
Incorrect.
Thank you very much.
Wrong. 100% wrong.
Thank you very
Einstein
much for taking part.
Newton was wrong.
I've enjoyed the interaction.
So have I. I love to prove you wrong.
For a man, yelled that people are wrong, and then you didn't listen to things that were asked of you. That's not the same thing as proving someone wrong.
You have a religious belief in this thing called Newtonian, Einsteinian gravity, and I just proved you wrong. You are religious.
By the way, Essie, for a person who said that doesn't make certified claims, you seem to be making a certified claim that Einstein and Newton are wrong. So which one is it? Are you not making certified claims, or are you making certified claims?
Laurie, you are an idiot.
Newton were wrong.
Go back in your closet.
Einstein and
If you have only insults, SE, then maybe you have lost the debate. I can listen to you, Jim.
I have only insults you, and then relevant punk. Please do not address me anymore.
So you're still butthurt. That's fine with me. I don't have a problem with
you
that.
are
Chin,
irrelevant
go ahead.
punk. Stay in your corner.
And Newton are wrong, is wrong, were wrong, will be wrong, and always wrong. Thank you.
Yes,
Preach
sir.
it,
Thank
sister.
you,
Preach
wrong,
it.
Wrong, wrong.
Preach that doctrine. Say
In
the
terms
words
of
Quantum Eraser told you to
I
say.
strongly advise you to go and see the flat earth psychiatrist. You will be like us, solid mentally, physically, intellectually. Unfortunately, you don't know
about the
that.
most
Go visit your
unstable asshole
nearest
on this whole
flat earth
board. Don't even say
psychiatrist.
shit like
And
that.
you can be like me, right?
That's just flat insulting to the branch of psychiatry.
Exactly. Chin, I don't have a problem with you making definite statements that that Einstein and Newton were wrong. But if you want to kind of make a stake on that in this kind of debate discussion, and if you want me to actually take it seriously other than as your personal belief, you need to somehow back that up and prove it with something.
The bending
I don't give a shit what you think, Laurie, for the 100th time.
I'm not talking to you, SE, so you don't need to. I'm talking to Chin, SE, if you cannot see it. So you can either take your butt hurt and shove it up your ass and shut the hell down.
Well, I do my party things. So just
if I'm having a discussion with Chin,
fucking useless debate tactic that everybody. Yeah,
don't do this.
Is it that time, Jem? Is it?
Yeah, it is. Away you go. Right, get on with it.
Yeah.
Right, now how can you actually state that the bending and warping of space-time fabric actually explains gravity? Can you actually grab this thing, this space-time, tangibly, physically? Can you? That's why it's a joke, isn't it? It's a joke, isn't it?
Well,
isn't
Jim,
it?
It's not.
Just a quick thing. Jin, does time have to exist?
Time is a man-made concept. It exists for people so they can get to work and do things and manage their lives. That's it. It's not proving that wasn't. Hang on, please let me finish. It doesn't prove why things drop to the floor. Okay, so
that
whatever
wasn't my question.
Today is crazy.
That wasn't my question. Does time have to exist?
Like I did answer your question. It has to exist for those people who use time. Okay, that's the answer to your question.
So yes, in your regards, you think that time has to exist for the people that use it.
Correct.
But in the world, in the universe, everything like that, time has to exist for matter to exist.
I don't believe in that pseudoscience dribble that's just come out of your mouth. I don't believe in the universe. I don't follow that.
Let's walk through this for a second. Can you have a three-dimensional object without time?
Of course.
How?
Well, because you can make it.
Well, doesn't it take time to make it?
That's irrelevant.
No, it's not. That's time. It takes time to make something.
It does not explain why things drop to the floor and why the helium balloon goes up. I'm sorry.
That wasn't the question. We were on about time.
That's what
time has to exist.
Was supposed to be addressing why things.
Einstein was explaining to you. Einstein was explaining to you that time has to exist. In order for a three-dimensional object to be there, time has to exist.
Unfortunately, it does not explain why things fall to the ground and why the helium balloon rises up, unfortunately. So Einstein was wrong with that explanation. He must have been doing some kind of drug when he said that. He couldn't have been on the ticket.
See, what he was saying was that in the amount of time that it takes for something to drop to the ground, that was the measurement. of that space-time bending.
It does not explain why the object dropped down and why a helium object rises up. It does not explain.
We don't care about the why. We don't care about the why.
You may not
care about the how. How did it happen?
I care about the
how
why.
long did it take to happen?
It's being said it was Newton. Newton was an ass who went mad in the end with his alchemy, never got married. So he got superseded by Einstein. Now Einstein's a lunatic, marries his cousin. Your world is full of lunatics because all they do is talk pseudoscience crap. Come on,
I mean, we both live in the world, right?
Well, I live in the world of reality. You know what I mean?
Well, we both live in the world. I mean, we're having a conversation right now in the world.
I live in the real world. I don't live in the world of pseudoscience dogma. No, I don't live there.
Well, no. Hold on. As in two people, you and I having this conversation right now. You and I exist in the same world, right?
Well, we exist on this flat Earth world. Yeah, of course we do. Not spinning.
Well, look, I'm not going to the shape. I'm not going to anything else.
Well,
but you and I, in order for you and I to exist and to have this conversation, time has to exist.
Not necessarily, no.
Okay, show me something that is tangible that does not require time.
A dog.
Air. Leaves.
Is the dog born?
Yes.
So it takes time for birth, right?
It doesn't require time, though.
Does not require time. It's a life cycle. So many heartbeats. Bye-bye, doggy.
Those are all measurements of time.
Time is a man-made construct to use.
Time is what time is the word that we put to describe what happens in our world.
Time is a man-made concept.
Yeah,
put that through
keep
your
saying
head,
that it's a man-made concept, but I'm telling you that it's a word that we put to describe something that is happening in our world.
Yes, we did exactly that.
It doesn't explain.
Yes, thank you. We are finally on the same page at this point.
It does not explain why things drop down to the ground with Einsteinian explanation for the special relativity or the balloon going up. It doesn't explain gravity, so that you can't use that as a reason.
I just gave you the one thing that does explain it.
Down, okay.
I just gave you the one thing that did explain it, which was that the passage of time has to exist.
No,
hold on.
Nothing to
so
do.
If the passage of time has to exist because we observe it every day, all day. Doesn't matter if we see it, hear it. The passage of time still exists. So in that instance, we have to keep describing further and further into our world to figure out how this works, right?
To date, things work in accordance to nature's laws. If you pick something up, it drops to the floor. That's fine. If it's lighter than the air, it will rise. That's the end. It's not gravity or Einstein's special relativity.
In nature's laws, time is more than just a concept.
In nature's laws, time is not really that important. Nature is.
Okay.
It's only important to the human beings that live on it, that made that concept, because they order their lives with time. Nature does not follow man's order. Nature is the order.
And I just explained to you that time. Hold on. I just explained to you that time is only a word that we put to describe what is happening in the natural world.
Yeah, natural. Yeah, the natural world, but it's not. Nature is not reliant on time. Only the human beings on it. Only the human beings are reliant on time. No, nothing else. Nature.
That's not true. That's not true. Okay, a tree starting from a sprout has to take X amount of time to grow to become that tree, right?
Does time cause the tree to grow, or you watering and the sunshine and the minerals in the earth cause the tree to grow? Is it time? Or
I didn't water the tree. I didn't even include myself into that. All I said was, as a tree growing from a sprout, it takes time for that tree to grow.
Yeah, but
that's as far as I went.
If that tree
I was just measuring the time that it took to do that.
Yeah, you did
John,
that.
If that tree didn't have sun, water, or earth, will it grow?
No, it would not.
So time doesn't make the tree grow then, right? It's the earth, the sun, and the soil and the nutrients, correct?
And the rain.
And time. You can't have all of those things. You can't just throw those things at. Hold on. You can't just throw those things at a sprout and expect a tree. It doesn't happen instantaneously.
So what does time do? How does time involve in there? What does it do? Does it toil the soil? Does it water? What does time do exactly?
Again, Montreal. At this point, I think you're trying to get out of this, but
no,
it's still describing the passage of what is happening.
I'm showing you the.
Hold on. Let me finish. You didn't let me finish. All right. All we're doing is describing what is happening. We haven't gone into what is the measurements or anything like that. We're just saying, yes, there's a sprout. Okay, we come back the next day, it's a little bit bigger. We come back the next day, it's a little bit bigger. You know, and over the passage of time, this becomes a tree, right?
And
so
if all you knew,
equals tree. No, you're wrong, Sean. Sorry, bro, you're wrong.
If all you knew about
how am I wrong?
If all you knew about the tree was time.
We were having a conversation. I'll get back to that real quick. Montreal, how am I wrong about that tree taking time to grow?
Time is a concept. I told you the tree needs water, nutrients in the soil, and the sun. Time
Give me a tree.
Okay. Hold on, Montreal. We're gonna go with your example right now. Okay. Okay. You have a sprout. All right. I'm going to give you that the seed has already sprouted. Okay, so you have a sprout. You throw it out into the ground, and you give it water and sunlight. Why isn't it a tree yet?
Why isn't it a tree yet?
It hasn't sprouted yet. It hasn't. It's just sprouted. It hasn't reached maturity yet.
Yeah.
Oh, so what? Wait, what's the other thing that's going to happen? What does it have to do?
It needs more water and more sunlight.
It needs more water, more
water and more sunlight.
Yeah, the more the sun goes over it, the more water it gets, the taller it's going to get.
You keep saying that it needs more. So does that mean that it's going to take more time?
No, time has nothing to do with it. More water.
So it's instantaneous.
Just put a bright light on it. Really amplifies. So we'll give it more sun.
You see,
so,
let me ask you something.
So there's no passage of time. We can just sprout something and it becomes a tree.
Sean, let me ask you a question. It's growing. Can I talk, please? It's growing. It's taking its time to grow. Now, let me ask you.
Taking its time, exactly.
If I'm
taking its time. It's taking its time.
Yes. Stop jerking yourself off. Now, if during this time I stop watering the tree, what will happen during this time if I stop watering your tree?
There you go.
Yay.
Huh?
They're not listening.
They're not listening, bro.
I'm listening. I'm sitting here listening. Montreal, you
so
said
Sean, you have all the time. What happens if you don't water your tree? Tell me.
What happens?
Doesn't need any time. It sort of seems to take a lot of time.
I give you all the time.
What happens? What happens if you don't water this tree? Well, that's going to depend on nature, isn't it?
Are you trying to use time for an independent variable here? Is this what this is all about?
Yeah, exactly.
No. I'm explaining what happens in nature. We know that trees grow. We don't have to do anything to it.
To grow.
Right?
That's what he's saying, basically. He doesn't understand what he's saying.
Time is a requirement for that tree to grow.
Negative.
Oh, really? What's the definition of growth?
Water, sun, and soil.
So it
is instantaneous.
To increase in size.
Correct. No time needed whatsoever.
No time needed. Okay.
So it's instant?
None. No
so
time.
It is instantaneous.
So it takes no time for that sprout to grow into a tree, is what you're saying.
You can have instant growth. Why not?
Instant growth?
Why not?
No.
Do we observe that?
The concept of time is not needed for the tree to grow.
We can also have Santa Claus. Why not?
What's the point of this?
We can have instant growth. Don't be silly. We can have instant growth. Right? Think about those words carefully. Think of those words carefully. Instant growth can happen, yeah?
Yeah, if you say so.
No.
Can it happen in your world?
It's a fact. It can happen. Instant growth, yeah. Why
So
not?
have you seen a small sprout grow into a full tree instantaneously?
You see, you're not looking at that.
We were talking about trees, weren't we? We were talking about trees. So have you seen a tree? In reality, have you seen a tree growing from a sprout to a full tree instantaneously? In reality,
Listen
something
to the
like that
stupid
needs more
questions
sunlight.
this guy asks.
yeah, but we can solve the sunlight problem if we actually have a lens or something. We can give it more sunlight, so we can give it all the sunlight it needs. No. If we give it all the time it needs, then you believe that it grows instantaneously, right?
No, what I'm saying is,
there you go. You don't even believe it yourself, Rakia.
You can give that a concept such as an hour of time or a year of time, but that's just a concept. It's based on what the sun does.
It doesn't.
How long it takes the sun to go around and to do things.
Rakia, there is a critical question here. Whether it's a
that's the whole point. It's just a concept that's made up by humans.
We're talking about gravity here. That's what we were originally talking about. That's where we were originally. I said that Einsteinian gravity was a load of crap because it doesn't.
Can I at some point?
Hang on a second. It doesn't explain why things drop to the floor and why the helium balloon rises. You can't use Einstein because it's never been proven. It's a theory.
I'm actually going to, because I didn't get a chance to go back and respond to what Rakia said, so I'm just going back to that, and I'm not even responding to you, Chin. So thank you, Chin, for interrupting. Now I lost my train of thought.
Sorry about that. That's where we were. That's the original situation.
No, we were actually talking about trees, and maybe you wanted to go back to something else because you were uncomfortable.
Before we were sidetracked into the woods, this is what we were originally talking about. How Einstein...
but I knew what we were talking about before, Yosu, so you didn't need to interrupt me to clarify. I was aware of that, Chin. So you were being an ass.
Lori, you make it into a fucking shit show, man. Shut the fuck up.
That's where we were.
Well, if you can't handle it, SE, then you can go away.
Come on, that's where we were originally. We were saying that Einstein's special relativity does not actually explain why things drop down and why the helium balloon goes up. That's why it remains a theory, right? And you cannot tangibly.
That's actually incorrect because you are not even addressing. You are kind of making a strawman argument from what their theory of relativity even says.
It's never been proven.
Yeah, that's your religious belief, Jin.
It's never
you don't
been
really
proven,
need to.
has it?
Yeah, but that's your religious belief, Jin.
Can you prove
You're
it?
projecting.
Can you prove it then?
We have shown evidence for general relativity.
So not proof then.
If it is your religious belief that you don't want to accept that.
You're projecting. It's your religious belief, and you haven't shown evidence. You've only.
Can we go back to the tree, because I actually remembered what I was going to say about it, and
now it seems you're scared
kind of
cutting me
interrupted.
off.
Now you want to go back into the woods again. Now it doesn't explain why things fall to the ground, but
if you want to say that as your religious belief, Jin, that's fine. But you need to justify it. Can you justify it in some way, Jin?
Go ahead.
You know why a tree falls, sir? Because it grew up.
Grew up in what time, Rakia? In what time? Instantaneously? Have you ever seen a tree grow up instantaneously?
In
what time?
Cycles of the sun. That's how much.
Thank you. So it was time. There you go, Rakia.
Time it put in the hours.
You use the concept of time, Rakia.
Depending on
you can't let it
if it's not instantaneous. If it's not instantaneous, you don't have anything.
Please prove
it's okay. I think it's you that has the religious belief.
Now, please. Can we have the
are deflecting from trees, Jin, because you cannot handle these simple cases. You need to try and somehow deflect to more complex topics than you even understand, because the simple topic of trees debunks your whole thinking.
Please tell us how dumb we are. So
if you cannot debunk me on, if you cannot debunk us on trees, don't try to go to general relativity. You need to verify that you can have a tree grow up up instantaneously. Now, Chin, I'm going to go through the panel. Jeremy, Chin, can you verify, have you seen a tree grow instantaneously?
I did not say that. I said.
Thank you, Chin. So I'm going to move on. SE, have you ever seen a tree grow instantaneously? SE, you have the floor.
I'm going to address this point. I did say you can have instant growth. Now, by that I mean...
I moved on from you, Chin. I'm asking SE. SE, have you seen a tree grow instantaneously?
Laurie, you are a clown. You show it.
Thank you, SE. So you haven't seen a tree grow instantaneously. Now, Rakia, have you seen a tree grow instantaneously?
You moron.
Actually,
you stupid idiot.
Rakia, have you seen a tree grow instantaneously?
No, none of us believe that.
Rakia, have you seen a tree grow instantaneously? Oh, you haven't. Thank you. So none of you have seen a tree grow instantaneously. So it requires time.
You're such a retard.
Is that unbelievable, people?
All right. I think Rakia, have you got a point to make here? Did you have a point to make?
No, he hasn't. You see.
Okay. Have you got?
Let me say something.
Yeah, I've got a point to make.
Is it SE? Maybe it's. All right. Let Jin make his point. Hang on. Let Jin make his point. Then you can go, SE.
Right. Now, when I said we could have instant growth, I wasn't referring to the tree. Imagine someone who's got no money in the bank. He suddenly wins the lottery. He's now got instant growth financially. There's instant growth. That's what I meant. Thank you. I rest my case. Next, please.
So now let me make a statement. This is why I call Laurie a clown. We had a good conversation, and from this whole conversation, what did he find? Is somebody said
a clown, I see.
That trees grow instantly. Now, isn't that a clown? Yeah. Isn't that somebody that just ruins the conversation, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah. This is coming from a man who said, "Why don't I see two garbage trucks being attracted together?"
Exactly.
I don't think you're in any position. I don't think you're in any position to complain. I don't think you're in any. I don't think you're in any position to complain, SE, are you?
Oh yes, I am. I'm showing you your fantasies, and you just don't like it.
I would like to hear.
Well, I want to.
Anybody describe any kind of motion whatsoever without using time.
The car drove.
Time, dude. Why are you guys not getting this, man?
Yeah.
Time
because
is
it's
not
wrong,
real.
AC.
It is a concept. Man started measuring time so they could
and it doesn't explain why things fall to the ground
and then they said, okay, why are you constantly talking over me?
Give me an example.
It doesn't explain your gravity. It doesn't explain your gravity, does it? The bending and warping of space-time fabric does not explain gravity that you lot believe in. It doesn't. The mass attracting mass. It's a theory that's unproven.
Give me an example of motion without using time.
Please explain gravity.
Right now, I just moved my hand. No time involved.
How long did it take to move your
It was instantaneous.
Instantaneous. I just moved it. Boom.
Instantaneous?
I did it again, left. Look.
That's bullshit, SE. You cannot describe motion without using time.
You have been hypnotized, bro. Hypnotized. You gotta get over it, man. You gotta break the chain,
let me ask a clarifying question, Essie. Was your hand move instantaneous, or did it take just a small amount of time? Which one?
I moved my hand without speaking of time, without the notion of time. Time had nothing to do with it.
I didn't say you needed to think about time. For example, if a rock falls and if time actually passes, the rock isn't thinking of time when it falls. In a similar way, a tree isn't thinking of time because trees don't have brains. So a tree doesn't need to think about time for it to grow. In the same way, by the way, a tree isn't thinking about the soil when it grows.
Stop time.
Tree isn't thinking about the sun either when it grows. So I have now debunked both the sun and soil being things as well.
About the sun, clown.
Stop it right now. Just stop time.
No tree, clown. Try again.
Yeah, so we have debunked the sun because a tree isn't thinking about the sun, so the sun is not there. It's not real.
You haven't
Lori,
explained
every time you open your mouth, you debunk yourself.
You
Realize
haven't
that.
gravity.
Let me ask a question here.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Just ask.
Fucking hell.
Have to ask. Whatever. Let's say.
Chemo, you're clipping. Your mic's clipping a little bit.
Yeah, your mic was clipping. I did get your point though. So you're kind of trying to get to the concept of time. But let me clarify something. There are things in reality that exist before man comes along and gives a concept to it. So, for example, there's a mountain, and there is a distance
is
from
that any
a
better now?
stream to that mountain. So the distance actually precedes the existence of man and the concepts of man. Now, man comes along and says, well, that's 1 kilometer. That doesn't mean distance doesn't exist because suddenly we had kilometers and
Laurie,
kilometers.
I don't think you heard my question.
Therefore,
Laurie.
distance doesn't exist.
Laurie, I don't think you
The
heard my
same
question.
applies to time.
What?
Time exists before man even comes along. Then man comes along and says, okay, we have hours. The actual concept of hour doesn't mean that time isn't real.
So I'm gonna have to pause you for a second.
Laurie,
sorry,
capable.
Essie, hold on. Sorry, we've got a super chat. They're really enjoying what you guys are doing. For whatever reason, it's crazy at the minute. But it's $2 from Maslow, and he says, "Jin, watch out! The demons are escaping the TV." Jin, watch out, the demons are escaping the TV. Thank you very much, Maslow, for that $2. But just to bring you back, Laurie, I want to know, and I'm sure Essie would want to know, you said he moved his hand, was it instantaneously? If he gave you a time, 5 minutes, 10 hours, we'll go from there, Essie. Just make a time up and see where he goes from there. 'Cause I don't want to answer for Laurie. Did he ask you how long did it take you to move your hand? Yeah? Yeah, so let's say you just made up a random time. But that it's not what he expects it to be. Then how would he let's say we said 15 hours. How would he say, no, that's not 15 hours. That was whatever seconds he would use. But where's he getting that from? How does he know that's 1, 2, 3? What framework is he coming from, right?
Interesting. Yes.
Interesting. So, if this is interesting to you, maybe then you have a mental problem. But in any case, so we have this thing called.
This clown? You see why I call him a clown? Because watch. I don't know what he's going to say, but watch how stupid this is going to be. Go ahead, Laurie.
Did you get it out of your system, Essie? Are you going to interrupt again because you're butthurt?
No, every time you insult me, you piece of shit, I will insult you back. Go ahead. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
This is Zeno's paradox. With moving your hand.
No, this isn't actually Zeno's paradox. So I actually get. Sorry, Jeremy, but I was kind of asked a question, and I actually do want to address it before this conversation goes somewhere else. So I don't completely get where Kimo is going for. He's getting me to say that we have a constant of hour or a second. So yes, when you move your hand in a second, I get the constant of seconds from culture. It's a concept of time. But I already addressed the problem because you're then going to say that concepts are not real, therefore time doesn't exist. I already addressed this problem because Okay.
No, he said.
So
where did time come from?
Yeah.
Where did the minute and the second and the hour come from? Who
I
made
told you he
those
was
up?
going to say a bunch
So
of bullshit.
so the
He's
second.
asking you which guy and where they came from. So can you just go to the
Yeah,
literature
we
and
heard
see
you,
where?
moron. Don't keep saying
Okay,
the same
dumb
thing over and
fuck. So
over.
answer the question. Why don't you help him out?
more
Help
of
him
what
out.
I'm-
He can't because you're repeating the question endlessly.
Hold on a second, please. So what I'm asking in a
Where
nutshell,
did it?
Laurie, what I'm asking in a nutshell is, and I want you to carry on with SE. If SE said he dropped a pen, a rock, moved his hand, and it took
So he does something that takes time. Okay,
Let's
move
say
along.
he said it took 20 hours per second.
Yeah.
Per
Okay.
second. Would you agree that it took that length, or would you say no, that's impossible? You can't just drop something from your head and then it falls at 50 hours or whatever number he comes up with. Would you disagree with his idea of the time? That, like I just said, it's not 9.8 meters per second. He's going to say it's 100 meters per second. Would you agree with that?
By the way, 20 hours per second is not really a valid concept, which is what you said there, Kimo. So where would I get the time? Would be, for example, from a clock, and before we had clocks, we used, for example, the moving around of the sun and so on.
That was the point. I think because you should have went with it, SE, and say, okay, I've made up a time, 500 hours per minute. Now what, Laurie? You're gonna say
500 hours per minute. Okay.
Yeah, but you're gonna say that's
ahead,
wrong.
Take over, Kimo. Talking with this guy is like pulling teeth. Please go ahead, take over.
You're gonna say that's wrong. That's wrong. There's no such thing. This is how I figured out how it's 9.8 meters per second, right? So you're going to figure out how you came up with your number system.
Yeah.
Right,
but I kind of didn't I really already answer the point. I said that we use clocks and then we use the sun. So why are you asking the question again? Because I think I answered.
You just said that now.
We told you that. Rakia said that.
I said it before. If you didn't listen, then maybe you should have something done to your ears.
I said it at the very beginning that time is important to those who use time, and that's why we have the time to order our lives. But apart from that, it doesn't explain. It does not explain why things drop to the floor and why the helium balloon rises. That was
real quick. This is why I wanted to jump in. If all you have is time, you don't really know much because
And
if all you have is time, you have nothing essentially.
Well, I actually agree to that, Jeremy. In the same way, if all you have is soil, you don't have much. So if you take a tree and you give it nothing but soil, it's not going to grow. So yes, technically speaking, none of the individual things, soil, sun, time, these things, none of them by themselves give you anything. They don't give a complete tree. So if the soil, if soil alone, if soil, yes, but if soil alone doesn't make the tree grow, therefore soil isn't real.
Have you heard of hydroponics? Genius.
What the fuck?
Laurie,
didn't we just debunk soil?
No, you think you did.
Why is that argument wrong? You explain why my argument about that is wrong.
Plants, right?
Yes, I will explain to you. Time cannot make anything grow. There you go. Very simple, grade 7. Time cannot make a plant grow, Laurie.
That's a nice religious belief. Can you back that up with something, Essie?
Did you hear what this genius just said? He wanted me to back up my time.
Yes, I need you. This genius says you need to back up your assertions. That's what this genius is saying. This genius needs some evidence for your religious beliefs.
Midget, Laurie. Sit down.
Yes, but I'm owning your ass, so you're even a smaller intellectual midget than me.
You really want to own his ass? Come on.
Look,
SE's ass isn't worth owning, Laurie.
If you leave a seed on the concrete ground and leave it there and allow, in your concept, loads of time, it's not going to grow, is it? On a concrete ground, it will not grow.
And if you
and you give it all the time you like, you can give it as much time as you want. It's not going to grow into anything, is it? That seed.
Yes, Chin. So what does that mean?
And with your time, you have nothing, like what he just said. You don't understand what he's
Yes.
saying.
Yes, which is exactly yeah. No, I understand what you're saying, but you don't see the flaw in that. So you think that because time alone doesn't do anything, time therefore doesn't exist. That's why I made the argument that because soil alone doesn't make the tree grow, we can use similar logic, and we can say that soil doesn't exist because soil alone doesn't make the tree grow. You also need sunlight. So soil doesn't exist. We also need sunlight.
We didn't say that, though. We didn't say that.
So does soil, Essie, does soil alone make a tree grow?
What kind of a question is that? We have you in a corner.
It's a question of does the soil alone make the tree grow?
If soil alone makes a plant grow, you're spiraling, bro.
Maybe you could answer the question. It's not a hard question.
You are spiraling.
You are spiraling now.
I'm spiraling when you cannot answer a simple question.
Laurie, you are spiraling, bro.
I'm spiraling when I ask a question and you cannot answer.
Are you trying to use time as your independent variable in Cavendish? Is that what
no, I'm trying to clarify is soil alone makes a tree grow. Jeremy, you now have the floor. Can you answer the question? Does soil alone make a tree grow?
You are turning things around. You're backed in a corner. Now you're asking us questions.
I'm not backed into a corner. I'm showing you. Essie, I'm showing to you that the argument that the logic that you used to debunk time can be used to debunk soil. Therefore, there has to be something wrong in the logic that you used to debunk time. If I can turn it around and debunk soil and sun existing as well, there has to be something wrong in the logic that you used.
Yes, the logic is wrong in your brain. You're equating time.
Thank you. So the arguments that you used to debunk time were incorrect. Thank you.
You are equating time.
Thank you. So you now admit that time does exist.
Sun, Laurie.
I always think it's funny. I always think it's funny in an argument with SE where you get to the point where he knows that he's beaten. And that's the point where he declares victory and says that he's backed you into a corner. And
you're delusional. He's asking me if a plant needs soil to grow, and I told him no. Have you heard of hydroponics? You both are delusional.
All right, a medium to grow. Let's just say a medium.
Now a medium.
Point is, it's a false analogy.
By the way, that wasn't Essie. By the way, I need to address this. You were giving my question wrong. I didn't say if you need soil to grow. I said if you only have a tree and you give it soil alone, you don't give it anything else, will the plant grow? So hydroponics doesn't address the claim. You're actually changing the situation because you're now taking away the soil and you're giving it water, which is not my question. So my question is, no hydroponics, you have a tree, you only have soil, no sunlight whatsoever, and no nutrients whatsoever, and no time. Will it grow instantaneously without sunlight? You have the floor.
Let me answer that. If you want a tree, it's fully grown.
Hold
on. It won't grow anymore.
But no matter what you say, no matter what you do,
guys,
as far as I'm concerned, we can move on from the question. I think
it's just silly people trying to get off on a technicality again.
We're
back to that.
Make a false analogy.
My original question was this: how does Einsteinium, the bending and warping of space-time fabric, explain how things dropped to the floor and how the helium went up, and then suddenly it went into this time thing? Okay, that's the original statement that I made, and the question: how does that relate to the gravity that you believe in?
Really need this explaining.
Fabric of space-time, and they went loony. That's what happened.
It would be more simple and easier to explain using Newtonian.
No, we can't because it's been superseded, left lane. Sorry, Bubba.
Einsteinium.
What's faster, light or gravity?
It depends on which gravity you use. In Einstein, it was speed of light, and Newton's was instantaneous. Very different gravities.
Isn't
way
that
different.
funny?
Totally,
Instantaneous
completely
gravity
different.
that's faster than light.
Yeah,
It's funny,
completely
right?
different gravities, Newtons and Einsteins.
And that's where we are. Gravity is a theory that's never been proven, and thus your spherical ball oblate spheroid.
How do you know that it's
no evidence? No
How do you know that
evidence,
it's
no video evidence? CGI images do
Quit your
not
rambling, Jim.
have no place in a decent discussion and
Dumb
debate.
Duck. Speed without time, Dumb Duck. Go. Speed happens
without time,
in
take
time.
your car,
Dumb Duck.
press the gas. There's speed, no time.
And just let it be noted, just before we go any further, I think it's important
Those
that
are
we
both
note
concepts.
that Jin just said that the images can't be part of a reasonable debate.
CGI images, I said.
Oh, great.
CGI images.
Oh, okay. Have you established that any pictures from space are CGI images?
We are told by Robert Simmons himself. He told us.
Well, he didn't. He didn't say it's CGI. He said
CGI.
Listen,
CGI.
listen.
Photoshop.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's not tell lies, Jin. He didn't say Okay. So let's get the interview with Robert Simmons. It's easily available, and show me where he says the word CGI.
It is,
Off you
it
go.
is well known. It is
No,
well known.
I don't care about
He
you
says
proclaiming
Photoshop.
it to be true. Show that that's true, because he doesn't.
You haven't heard him say
He does not
Photoshop,
say
Jim?
the
Come on.
words. He does not say the word CGI. You're lying. You made that up. Don't
Does he
make
say
things
Photoshop?
up. He does say it's photoshopped. He does not
Okay.
say it's CGI. That's something
The
different.
images were generated on a computer.
He doesn't
Jim is
say that.
actually Jim is actually correct.
And he
The
doesn't
images
say-
were
Vin is usually
generated
correct.
on a computer.
That's a lie that you just made up. Why
No,
did you do that?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Photoshop.
So get me evidence. Show me evidence.
On a computer.
Show me evidence that that's true.
place In a debate. Let's
Okay,
have a
so-
real high definition of
Okay.
the photographs. Real
Okay.
time. Real life,
Listen.
high
Shut
definition.
up. Right, we've heard your claim that these images are CGI. Now, where is the evidence that supports this claim? Hang on before you go any further. You've already offered me Robert Simmons, and he didn't say it was CGI. You made that up. So
No,
have you got it?
Look.
Okay.
See, now you're
Okay,
being-
show me where he says it's CGI.
All right, Jim. This is where you're being childish. When the man is telling you he's using a computer to generate the images, what does that mean?
No, he didn't.
CGI.
Okay. He did not tell you that he used a computer to generate that image. You are lying. Stop lying. Stop making stuff up. You're lying, Jin. Stop it.
Wild the images.
The video. Shut up. Thank you.
You were
You
muted
guys are
through all
lying.
of that.
What the hell
No.
do you think Photoshop is done on?
Look, well, I think it's probably done on photographs.
You mean
Let
with
me
a
ask you a
computer?
question,
You think he did it
Jim.
with a computer, Jim?
Yes, I do.
So a computer
Do I think
generated an image.
Did the computer generate the image? No.
So you think it's
A
really
camera-
just a lie? Or you
A
just think
camera,
he's saying he did
a
it on
camera generated the image. It's not true to say it was generated by a computer.
So you're just
That
going
is
out
a
of your way to call
lie.
him a liar.
That's why Robert Simmons didn't say it.
So you're just basically going out of your way to call him a liar. Because that's
Well,
what
he
you're
is-
good at.
Well, he is lying because he's saying somebody said something that they didn't say.
He's
That's
saying
a lie.
he used a computer to generate an image. That's what he's
No,
saying.
I'm not. I am saying he did not use a computer to generate an image.
Do you
I've
know
said
the
that
definition of
3
CGI,
times
Jim?
now.
Jim,
I said he
CGI.
used.
Do you know
Shut
the
up.
definition?
Shut up. I said a camera generated the image. Let me say it again. A camera generated the image.
You
a
are
computer.
correct. But after
a computer.
that camera, when they put it on
Listen.
the computer, what happened, Jim?
God. A computer did not generate the image. Again, a camera generated the image. CGI,
Correct, but he
CGI
himself
means
said-
computer generated image, not camera generated image. And now I will unmute.
No, he didn't. He used the computer to do the images. Thank you.
He
Compile
said
the
that
camera images. He used a computer. Yes.
Jem, he said that the strips are put together by the computer. Now, the areas where they overlap.
Okay. Well, let's not go any further than the strips.
What is that?
Let's not go any further than the strips. Where are the strips from?
Well, like you said, they were taking a picture, but in the
Right.
places where the
So
strips
the image, which is the strips, was generated by a camera, wasn't it?
Correct. Now, where the strips intermesh.
There you go, Jin. Even SE thinks you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong at all. I'm not wrong at all.
But this,
because those images are not of Earth as a spherical ball. There is no evidence, and NASA tells us that themselves.
Well,
no video. No video footage.
Again, that's a lie. That's also a lie that you just made up. That's
Not
just
a lie.
Complete
Not a
lie.
lie.
Okay, show me where NASA say it. Off you go. Show me where NASA say it.
Go off and look at it for yourself.
No, I don't. No, you've made the claim, Jin. It's your claim. Okay, well, it's a lie.
You go and look for it yourself.
Why would I look for something? I'm not going to look.
You know where it is.
I know. I'm not.
The point is,
Jin, shut up.
Yo, Jen. To be fair, you have to hold the Glober yourself to the same standard that you hold the Globers. So if you're making a claim, you have to come with the definitive evidence.
I've given him the location where you can.
They don't have any definitive evidence.
That's as much as I'm going to do. Yeah.
Just making a claim and saying go to NASA's website and look for it.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
Shut up. Is dishonest, and you know it's dishonest. You know it is. It's because you know that you've never read that on there. You just made it up. You've heard other flat earthers say it. NASA tell us that all their images are CGI. You made it up.
No.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Prove me wrong then. Show me where it says that on NASA's website. Show me any quote from anyone from NASA saying we have no real-time video of the Earth. That's what you just claimed. Stop lying, Jin. This is why you should realise that you believe a whole load of bullshit. Because in order to make it work, you have to just lie and make stuff up.
We have no curvature and we have no image of Earth.
See, he was talking all the way through that.
No,
Didn't hear a word I said.
No, did he fuck? The fantasist.
You don't know that, Jem.
Fucking well.
When I unmuted him, he was in the middle of talking about something else. So
the whole thing.
Some more images of these CGI images of Earth that you call images that are not real. Okay, so don't give me that crap.
All I wanted for you to support some of the things that you're saying, and you can't. You just make stuff up.
Jem, you're being intellectually dishonest here, bro.
You've made two things up, Jin. You made up that Robert Simmons.
The blue marble thing.
You made up that Robert.
And he says they took a flat map.
He
doesn't say anything about round Earth photos or anything. He says a flat map, and he wrapped it around the globe.
He doesn't say that it was CGI. He doesn't say he generated the image on a computer.
No,
Jin said, listen. Jin said he did say that. That was a lie. Jin followed that up with another lie that NASA say that they've got no live video of Earth and no pictures of Earth, no real pictures of Earth. That was what he said. That's another lie that he made up. It's a lie, Jin. Stop lying.
He's not lying. They have one freaking picture, and that's even questionable.
Okay, SE is making the claim now. Okay, you say he's not lying. So, which claim are you supporting?
I'm supporting the clown himself that makes the pictures that says, and I quote, "It's Photoshop because it has to be," and he even says where he photoshops it. He has to put the sun spot. He has to put the color. He has to guess about everything. And also...
No, that's not true. Now, okay. Now you're lying. Now you're lying. No, we're not allowing any more lies. So tell me, show me in the video, point me to the timestamp where he says, I have to guess about everything. Go.
Come on, Jem. You know he was being
Jem,
hyperbolic.
this is the worst I've seen you.
Man, because they'll
You're spiraling out of control, bro.
I'm just
Seriously.
asking you to support
need
the
a
claims
break.
that you make.
It's a fair request, I think.
Yeah, you say he has to guess about everything. So go ahead and show me where. I mean,
He
you
says
say
it's not
that.
an astronaut. He just has to imagine what it looks like.
I understand
he
he's
has
being
to imagine
hyperbolic.
'cause he's
I
never
understand
been
he's being
there, Jemmy
hyperbolic
boy.
percentage, but he is trying to establish that it's correct to say that this is a CGI image, and it's not.
It is.
And by
Because
saying
it
he's
is
he's
manipulated,
guessed at everything, if I let that pass, that Robert Simmons says he guessed at everything, I'm not going to let that pass.
says it himself. Yeah.
Okay, that's a lie. Stop lying. He doesn't say that. Why are you lying like this?
Then what does he say, Jim? Then what does he say, Jim?
I'm not making claims about what he says.
You're making a claim that he doesn't say it.
Right, that's a claim about what he doesn't say. I'm making that in response to these claims that he does say something. It's not for me to establish that what these people are saying isn't true if they haven't established in any way that it is true. If they're not offering me anything other than their baseless proclamations. And they know that they're just making shit up. They know he didn't say the phrases that they're saying.
You got to come correct, because they're going to be pedantic and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
we have.
You say one word wrong out of what a quote, and they're like, "Oh, he
But
didn't
it
say
totally
that."
changes the meaning of what was said.
You're wrong to ask
Then what did he say then? Was
saying
it
something is generated by a computer.
Let's see how honest you are, Jim.
Yeah, I will. I'm telling you now before you interrupted me, because you know you're going to look stupid.
No, I'm
Saying
not gonna
something
look
that was
stupid. You look stupid.
saying something that was generated by a computer, purely by a computer, when it was generated by a camera, is a lie.
He says Photoshop.
Stop
which means
lying.
He used a computer. I think that's what Jim means.
So what?
But
Look, there are no images at all online anywhere that haven't used a computer. All images do.
Yeah, put them in Photoshop. You can manipulate them. That's the whole point.
Okay, but that does not make them CGI.
Manipulated by a computer, I think, is the point, right? You're just being pedantic and calling people liars for no reason.
No, because
I think that we all know that that's Jim's point, right?
Oh, there's
that he used
plenty
a
of reasons
computer
to
to
believe that you're a
manipulate it in
liar.
Photoshop and manipulate the pictures.
I don't think
I think we all know that's what his point is, right?
No, I don't think that's his point at all. I think
You
he's
don't.
trying
You
to...
don't think that's Jim's point for bringing that
No,
up?
absolutely not. He specifically said it's all...
Then you're the moron.
He specifically said it's generated by a computer. He specifically tried to pretend that there's no photography involved here anywhere. He specifically said that. If you're trying to get him off the hook by pretending he meant something slightly different from the reality, then you're just playing games, and you know you are.
One step at a time. So Robert Simmons says he uses Photoshop, right? He used Photoshop for the images. Now, we don't know where the demarcation is between, what he had before Photoshop, or if it was all done in Photoshop, or what have you.
We do.
Do we?
We do?
Yeah.
Prove it. Give me that citation.
All those images are available as separate images.
Bring them all up.
So
go to Blue Marble 2.
Well, you say you want me to go somewhere. You want to make a claim, and then you want me to go to some random NASA site and pull every picture up.
What do you want me to do? Post all 40,000 fucking images, you moron. It's a website with a whole data set of images. Go and look if you don't believe they're there, you fucking idiot.
Man.
Hold up. So Robert says that those are the flat map images that he wrapped around the globe?
Right.
Oh, so those are the flat images that he wrapped around a globe.
Yes.
Do you have any substantiation for him saying that, any sort of link between this database and what Robert Simmons...
Hang on, stop there before you go any further. Jem asked you before to provide some substantiation that he apparently claimed what you said earlier. No, this happened. I was sitting here when it happened. Jem asked earlier for you to provide the timestamp where Robert Simmons said apparently what you claim he said. Now you're turning around and going, oh, give us substantiation for this instead. So how about you go and find the timestamp first, Poke Huntage, and provide that before we get into your little question here, shall we?
Yeah.
I've forgotten the phrase, but whatever you said before, whatever Jem said before, where he asked you to provide the timestamp where Richard Simmons said, oh, yeah, they're all computer-generated images. Get that one first before you go asking for substantiation, cunt.
Oh, bro, you've got it twisted. We're past that. We agree that he said that...
well, I'm going back to it.
And that they wrap a flat maps around the globe.
Yeah, but you still haven't provided the timestamp you were asked for earlier, have you?
Any timestamp for anything. You're confused.
For whatever you claim that Robert Simmons said. Go and find it. No, don't you dare go demanding substantiation when you've been asked for it in the past.
Mr. High Who the hell are you?
No, the original
settle down. Know your
Jem
place.
asking
You're a
SE
liar.
for his.
I have no time for you whatsoever. You do nothing but lie every time you open your gab.
If you don't
calm down, you're nobody.
Talk to me.
The point is, if we cut to the chase, this was made from individual images. That's what Robert Simmons tells us in that interview. We can all agree on that, I think. And these images, these individual images, are available. A number of sets of them now, actually, I think, from different satellites. So they are there. They do exist. And I think that the claim, it's not right to just call this CGI because, Toy Story is CGI. I think to call something CGI when it's made from photographs is not an honest description of it. That's my point.
I get your point about that.
And beyond that, final point, there are images. There is live video of the Earth, obviously from the space shuttle and from Apollo and from the ISS. Obviously Apollo where we can see the whole thing. There are real photographs, again from Apollo and from the ISS. So the claim that it's all CGI just isn't true. I rest my case.
I'd like to.
I just posted the actual what he actually said in that interview.
There you go.
I found a transcript. So that's what he's saying he does. So would anyone like to disagree that that's what he's saying he does, rather than you fucking Texas sharpshooting a specific sentence or two out of context, which again is something that we expect from people without morals.
Okay, so Jem, you said that this database was, the flat map images, right?
What?
No, nobody's actually
Is that what you
brought
said?
up the evidence for the flat map
images,
quote.
and that's what he used.
So you might just be strawmanning
Yes,
this whole thing.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, he says that he got the flat map images from 4 months of satellite data.
Right.
So are you saying that he made those flat map images from, that database is what he made? Or what he used?
No, I'm saying that data is images. You can pretend that just means he was looking at a spreadsheet, but you are just pretending again.
No, hold up though. He made the flat map data. The hardest part, he says, was making the flat maps, creating the flat maps of the Earth's surface from 4 months of satellite data. So this database, is it the 4 months of satellite data?
Specifically, read the sentence out. Read the sentence out where he says that.
Our team is purely about communications. We translate data into usable and understandable form. Our writers and visualizers explain what we are seeing, and our web developers tell the world.
No,
so he doesn't create the data himself.
You're making stuff up now.
The sentence is...
Where's the original quote for the sentence of flat map?
Flat map of the Earth's surface with 4 months of satellite data. End quote.
Okay. That's not in the transcript.
Yeah, where can we find the original quote for that?
But it's fine if he says that. What's the problem with that?
So I'm asking you, this database that you said he used.
Yeah.
Is it the flat map? You said it's the flat map data, like images, right? But he said he made those. So you're saying
they're not. Hang on, stop. They're pictures of the Earth taken from space. They're not flat map data images. Whatever
That's
that
what you
is.
said, though. You said they're flat map images.
I never said that. You introduced that phrase. They are pictures of the Earth taken from space. Of
okay, so
small patches of the Earth.
All right, so
I'm not in any way. What did I agree to? What are you making up now?
The flat map images.
The quote.
I don't even know what that. I don't know what flat map images
I'm
means.
about to actually post the actual quote in context with what he said.
What does flat map images?
Here we go, draft
What's
on.
the difference between an image and a flat map image?
Hold up. So now we're
I've never even until right now. I've never heard the phrase flat map image. I have no idea what it means.
An image of a flat map.
You're claiming I agreed to it. I don't know. It's not. Well, then no. They're definitely not images of a map.
Okay, so they are the 4 months of satellite data that he made the flat map images, right? From.
What does the phrase flat map? I don't know what the phrase flat map images means.
He took flat maps that he created.
Wait, no, we have the
Where
actual
does it say
quote.
that? Where does it
We
say
have the
that?
actual quote. He just posted the actual quote. Not
Let's
whatever
have the actual
percentages
words where he says,
raging
"I
on.
took flat map images." Or are you making stuff up as well?
The hard part was creating.
It's funny, isn't it? How of this one guy, 3 of you have tried to quote him, and you've all deliberately misquoted him.
Can you shut up and let him get it out?
You're lying right now. You're lying because I've quoted him word for word, verbatim.
Right.
No,
Let's hear what he says then. Let's hear the words he says again.
Shut up.
Maybe someone else
The
reads it.
hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface with 4 months of satellite data. So that was the hard part of doing the whole job, making a flat map.
So that was the reverse of what you said, where you said
reverse of what I said.
You said he took flat map images, didn't you?
Read the 2 sentences later. Read that one too.
Okay. But this argument hold on. This argument really centers on, listen, percentage. This centers on one word, doesn't it? The word data. And you've decided that because it says data, that definitely means it was some numbers. That's what this argument is about.
No.
All right. So it says the hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface with 4 months of satellite data.
So the data that he takes from satellites, listen. The data that he takes from satellites is images, photographs. There you go. What's the problem?
The problem is satellites don't exist, you cunt.
So the database that you were referring to is the 4 months of satellite data, right?
Right.
Okay, so now where is the flat map that he made from that data?
Fucking hell. So we
I have
did.
no
The hard
idea.
part was creating a
Why
flat
do we
map.
need that?
Okay,
Well,
well,
you don't know whether or not he actually used the satellite data to create a flat map, or if he made the flat map some other way, right?
The hard
I don't know
part was
where the
creating
flat. Why is there a flat map in this? Where's that come from, and how is it relevant to our conversation?
You need the sentence.
Can I clarify that for a second? So every picture that's taken is going to be flat. It's all 2-dimensional. So it doesn't matter how you want to read it. Every picture that's taken is 2-dimensional. So the reason why it's taking why he's saying that it created a flat map is because it's all a 2-dimensional image. Thank you.
And it actually goes on a bit with that. So I'll keep reading before Percentage jumps in.
What's your point?
My point is you don't know that he actually used this database that you're saying is the 4 months of satellite data, which you haven't substantiated a link to.
Well, if you hadn't started talking, I would have gotten into that bit. The hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface with 4 months of satellite data. Rito Stockley, now at the Swiss Federal Office of Meteorology and Climatology, did much of the work. Then we wrapped the flat map around a ball. My part was integrating the surface clouds and oceans to match people's expectations of how Earth looks from space. That ball became the famous blue marble. I was happy with it, but we had no idea how widespread it would become. We never thought it would become an icon. I certainly never thought that I would become Mr. Blue Marble. We have since updated the base maps by increasing the resolution, and for 2004, we made a series of monthly maps, and now we've got the Himawari 8 up there, taking pictures every 10 minutes.
I love how you just read stuff that didn't need to be read and then gave your own editorial.
Well, I felt like you needed the entire context, since you guys like to cherry pick whatever the fuck you think you need.
Well, you just said exactly what they said. He used flat maps to make a ball. What you thought.
Creating the flat map was the hard part. Did you miss that?
No. Creating the ball from the flat images was his hard part.
And how that works.
Because he had to keep up with expectations of a globe.
No, you're right, mate.
You're in weird reason.
All I want to establish is that these images are not generated by a computer.
Well, Jim, aren't all pictures flat?
They are.
All pictures are flat, right, Jim?
Well, you can just say that,
Jim. Just say the word yes.
You saying?
Are you scared to say yes, Jim? Ever?
You haven't got any reason to say.
Jim. Why would we need that? Why would we need any evidence?
Because that has no reason for us to accept it.
Yeah, if you
Jem,
saying
failed
something
is right now. You failed to show the link between this database that you're mentioning as being the same data that Mr. Blue Marble is talking about. And
we didn't stand over the guy's shoulder while he did it. I agree with you.
Establish it
with 4 months of satellite data. That
I don't need to establish it.
Off with those images,
but he's saying it. Hold on, he's saying it. Why do I need to establish it in some other way as well as him saying it?
He said that it's this exact database that you're talking about.
Do we believe Robert Simmons or not?
No, we believe what.
Do we believe what he's saying?
We're judging the information that he provides.
We believed him when apparently he said it's all CGI and he invents it all. We believed him then. Now we don't. Now when I could quote him, now we need some other verification for that. You guys didn't offer me that.
Between the models, between like what he says in the model.
What are you saying?
I said it's about judging the consistency between what he says and the model that you guys are proposing.
Wait for the hostile witness.
So what is it that you require now? What and why do you require it?
4 months of satellite data.
The actual satellite they use.
Okay, so you need the actual individual images that this image was produced from.
The data the satellite took.
Okay, assuming just for the moment that I'm able to provide that, then what? What then?
That's a straw man. I said I want to see where he says it's this database that you're pointing to.
I haven't said that he said that.
He said 4 months of satellite data. You're saying it's this database of images. Is that
I didn't
4 months?
Say that. I did not say that.
You're the only one.
I didn't. No. All I said was, what I said was that data is images. I did not say it is this database of images.
Okay, so where's the database? Where's the data that he used? Because
why would you need a database?
Why do you need that?
File mechanism.
What do you mean? Why would we need
Normally, when
that?
you're working with raw images,
why do you need that? Because
you have them in a file location, and then you take those raw images and you edit them using a tool like Photoshop. So why do you need a database?
You want the data that
assuming it with no evidence.
That map that wrapped around the globe with, so we can judge whether or not it was photoshopped, if it was computer generated or not. That's the entire argument. What it's about. If we don't have the data, we don't.
So
know
how will you be able to? How will you be able to determine that from an individual image?
Percentage. Why would you want the data? Come on, bro.
We don't know. We'd like access to this data that he says he had.
Okay, but as I say, assuming that I'm able to provide it. Assuming that I'm able to provide it, what then?
Yeah, then we can scrutinize it.
It's here in black and white.
Let him answer. Let him answer. What then?
Why not?
Let's say we're looking at an individual image of some bit of the Earth's surface now. Let's say I provided it. Now what? How are you going to establish that this is the image that he used?
That's what we need.
And what? I understand that, but
that's your burden of proof.
Okay, but before I go and spend time looking for it, where is it going to lead us? What will be the point?
Because you're claiming this 4 months of satellite data are images, so you have a burden of proof now. You have to show.
You're claiming that it's just data. Well, you're claiming that it's just data.
No, I'm not. I'm saying
that it's just numbers.
Data is everything.
The evidence has already been put in the chat.
And also within his interview there, he talks about the imaging instruments that were used to gather the data. He specifically mentions which satellites were used. So I think the data, the evidence is there that he's talking about images, and he talks specifically about those images. If you've got some evidence that he's talking specifically about numbers in a spreadsheet or whatever, then show it. But I think if you listen to the entire thing, that is not something you would get from that.
In the right direction. So scroll up to the paragraph before the question before. He says, "My role is to make imagery from Earth sciences data. I turn data into pictures," meaning they weren't pictures before. Oh, you got smashed.
Doesn't mean that.
I look for new interesting events, blah, 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 blah. He talks about the amount. Their reliable real-time stream of 1.7 terabytes a day is incredible. So he turns data into pictures. They weren't pictures before that he just made look nicer. He turned the data into pictures.
No, the data are pictures. They are images from a satellite.
No, they're not.
He turns them. He turns them into other pictures.
No, they're not, Jem.
Okay, well, establish that that's true then. Go ahead.
You're saying the data is pictures.
No. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You introduced this argument. I never mentioned Robert Simmons. You guys did. You then made 3 separate claims about things he'd said that he hadn't actually said. That he hadn't. I'm not scared. I don't have to be scared.
Scared to substantiate the claims that you make.
Look, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I just need there to be a point because I know what you do. Listen, percentage. Shut up. Stop interrupting because I know the game that you play, percentage. It's come up with anything I can to cast some doubt on this proposition that's been presented. Doesn't mean I don't need to. The only result of this should be that I get to sit here doing nothing while people bring things to me. Now, I'm perfectly prepared to do that if there's some point to it. But there isn't, is there?
There is.
I'm gonna have to. Why do you guys make this so fucking difficult? If there's some point to this, okay, you as well. Why do you do this? Why?
Because we want to see the data. Why do you hide it?
Right. So if there's some point to this, I'm quite prepared to spend the time looking for the data from the actual, I think it was Ghost 16 and Ghost 17, VERS, and I can't remember the other one. But I'm going to say I will spend the time looking for that data if there's some point to it. But there isn't some point to it. It's just a way for you to say, oh, well, it might be this and it might be that. But I'm not going to establish what I'm claiming to be true because I'm not claiming anything. You've got to go and do the work. No, you introduced this into the discussion. All 3 of you have claimed he said things that he didn't actually say. You establish that this information coming from satellites was just numbers and did not involve any imagery when he specifically talks about the imaging systems. Go ahead.
Okay, so you made a claim and you're trying to weasel your way out of it.
No,
you're saying that the data were images. And all the context from everything he says are that they're not images.
I disagree.
He says specifically that he turns the data into pictures. He
says
specifically
that doesn't mean that the data wasn't pictures to start with.
Hold up. He says specifically by 2002, we finally had enough data to make a snapshot of the entire Earth.
What makes you think that that's not a bunch of pictures?
What makes you think that data isn't a lot of pictures?
Because hold up, if that quote was to make sense, he wouldn't separate the two. We had enough data to make a snapshot.
Why are you sitting here trying to determine the meaning of his words based on your model and your need for it to be that way?
If you can establish that all these satellites, all they sent was numbers, and he just looked at the numbers and imagined something from that. Go ahead. You can't establish that.
You're saying no. The data are pictures, so the burden of proof is on you.
The other glaring problem is that
again. Hold on. You introduced him into the conversation. Your claim is that this data is CGI. These were your first claims that you made. Then beyond that, hang on. Stop interrupting. And you, Grim. How is that helping?
Sorry, I was supporting you. You got it. That's where I was going.
Thank you for supporting me, making me wade through what you're saying. That helps a lot. So you guys made the claim about this. You've claimed it's all CGI, and you've made 3 false claims about what the guy has said. So I think I'm well within my rights to expect you to support your claim in some way. Show me that this is just CGI. Sorry to be snappy, Grim.
There's also another glaring issue there, Jem, where he actually says we got the data from satellites. How do you explain that one away, Percentage?
Yeah, satellite. They say satellite data. There's no, issue
yeah, but he still said it.
He doesn't say satellite images.
He says satellite data. Why would
talks about the imaging system?
Yeah, why would that not? But again, why would those pictures not be part of a data set?
know from what the limited information we have. We can't say whether or not they were made on a computer, or if they're just edited.
The specific claim was that it's all CGI. That was made repeatedly. So don't try and get out of it.
And Percentage, hang on, give me a second, guys. Give me a sec, guys. So, hang on, give me a sec, guys. So, when you take a photo per percentage, does that take up some of the space on your memory card in your phone?
Of course. What's your point?
So, is that data or not?
Yes, all images are data, not all data are
Well,
images.
there we go. We can settle that then. Photos can be, in fact, data. So, move on.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, well, it's still data, isn't it?
Not all data are images. He says satellite data. He doesn't say satellite images.
It's still data. It's still data, and you can still use it. So move on.
It's data, so you can use it. So therefore, it is an image. Are you retarded?
Is the image on your phone not data?
Images are data. Data are not.
You took a photo, yeah, and it's on your phone. It's chewing up some of your memory card. That's data, isn't it? It's data, isn't it? It's data, isn't
You
it?
have to be to say that because he said data, he can't mean images.
Yeah.
No, wait. Percentage. How disingenuous do you have to be to say that because he said data, he can't mean images? How disingenuous do you have to be to say that?
I didn't say he can't mean it. They could be images. Jem said they are images. The burden of proof is on him.
There's no burden of proof in this. You are intentionally taking an extreme position just so you can argue. Stop it. You're intentionally taking an extreme position simply for the purpose of arguing. Please stop it.
We turned the data into pictures, and he also says that we finally had enough data to make a snapshot. If the data is the snapshot, then he wouldn't say that in the first place. So, use your brain.
I hate to tell you.
Now you're assigning motives and saying that the data can't be images again. Why are you doing that?
The Earth observational satellites would take pictures %. So if the source of his data is a satellite that takes pictures, then it's ludicrous to say
we don't know that they are.
Yes, we do. You can look it up. He mentioned
we don't know the source of the.
That he was using the Earth observation
satellite that takes pictures.
Percentage. You can go look up the satellites. That's what they do. They take pictures.
Pictures now. That's your claim?
That's always been the claim. That's what they are.
What's the name of the satellite that those images come from?
They aren't satellites that specialize in recording other types of data. All of them take photos, right?
Does anyone know the name of the image that those pictures were taken from? Let's go and look at the specifications of the satellite and see what the imaging equipment is on it.
Well, let's prove that satellites are up there in the first place. I mean, this is the whole problem.
There we go. That gets into the problem that Jem was talking about, which is even if we gave you the information, you would deny it because it came from a satellite.
You guys are
Satellites
so
don't exist. Let's see the images. Give us the.
We've shown you images of the ISS. We've shown you images of.
Yeah, but we've explained to you that the ISS can't be up there.
And let's face it, all we're going to show you is data, and data can't be an image. But thanks for letting me finish, Jen.
Every time.
Images to begin with.
Ironic that the guy that lied about 3 of the things that he tried to say that Robert Simmons said is now calling us liars. That's irony with a capital I.
Shut up, you Aussie Wally! Shut up, you mug!
I'm sorry, I'm smacking you in the face a bit here, Jin, with reality, but that's what I do.
Shut up, Aussie cunting! Shut up! Right, button it.
Make me.
All right, so I just posted the link for you of every type of observational satellite and the passive and active sensors that they utilized to look at either the infrared, the visible spectrum, and everything on the EMF spectrum and the data that it uses and employs that you then have to sift through in a data visualizer aggregates to form photos that make sense, which is what Simmons' job was. But he's still taking images, pictures, and making them look nice. That's all it is. It's not numbers. It's still visual data.
Anyone here got satellite TV? Anyone got satellite fed TV?
Did you not see me post? We don't have
I was just going to make the point that the images you're seeing on TV may be coming from a satellite. So how does that work?
Satellite TV. None of us have it. So you're lying.
The data coming to your TV is still.
It's not coming from any
data,
satellite.
isn't it?
No.
I pointed my antenna up at the sky. funny.
Jen, you don't live in Japan. You're lying.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Well, I'm providing as much evidence to support my claim as you are.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you know I live in Japan.
No, I don't. You've told me. I don't believe you. You've told me.
Yeah, well, you know,
You've not
I've
proved
posted-
it.
I have
There's no
posted-
evidence for
I
it.
have posted images on this server
Cool,
of
they're
me.
CGI.
It's been there, and other people in the other servers know exactly who I
Then
am.
you're paying them to
looking
say
at
that.
my face. I am the only person here who you can actually see his face. So
No,
don't even
that's
go
just
down that road,
pre-recorded video. That's not your real
I
face.
don't know
That's someone
what
else's
you look
face
like.
that you're
At
presenting.
least you know what I look like. You know.
No, I don't.
Thank you.
See, I don't know what you look like. I don't know you live in Japan. I don't know you're telling the truth. I don't know these other people
I
believe
provided
you.
images of myself
Yeah,
in your
and they could be
server.
fake.
I have.
Are you saying they could be
CGI.
fake?
CGI.
Yeah, they're fake. You're fake.
So you
agree that he could fool you then, right?
That's up for you to decide if it's CGI. Up to you. But I've provided you with enough information and material to know that I am in Japan and I am who I say I am.
Actually, no. See, I can take a reasonable position that you're on a VPN, and that you learned through watching anime how to speak Japanese.
No, right, yeah.
I mean, it certainly wouldn't meet percentages, Bird.
See how easy it is to fool people?
No, I don't do that.
We come into the Splat Earth servers every day and see how easy it is to fool people.
Yeah, but I am who I say I am. That's a fact.
No, that's your claim.
The percentages level of skepticism, you can't prove anything.
Well,
the percentages level, you can't prove that you are exactly who you say you are. You can't even prove
I've done that.
I'm sure he could.
I've done that many a
Because
time.
he's something verifiable. He could videotape. He could record himself or whatever.
Yeah,
But
I
it's not
provided you with
contention,
enough
besides the
images.
point.
Anyway.
Oh, well, how
could be a
would we
deepfake
know that
percentage.
that's not been faked percentage? Are you saying it's
Oh,
impossible
come
to fake a live image like that and put a false background on it and fool people? Are you saying that's impossible percentage?
I think it's impossible, but it's very, 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 very unlikely that when you have
Well, then you haven't got specific, truthful, objective reality. Then have you? You've just got someone who's making a claim that
He's
you
not
kind of
making
believe.
an outlanguage
Okay,
claim
so let
that
me
he's
finish.
in
If you
outer
have
space.
like
He's
multiple
saying he's
cameras,
in
multiple
Japan.
angles, show when it's live,
I've got
uncut,
that
raw
from him.
footage, then it's
I don't have any of that from
quality
Jim.
of that video is very
claim of future
very
information.
high. Okay.
Yeah, you're making a claim of what he could do, not what we've got. So at the moment, you can't believe that he
If
is
you
in
go
Japan.
back,
if he cares to actually provide evidence for it, then that's his burden of proof. But you
And to take a page out of Jeremy's book, he could be specifically designed by.
Jen isn't who he says he is.
And to take a page out of Jeremy's book, you have no idea what sort of technology NASA has. He could be a fake, simply designed to make flat Earth look foolish.
That's fine.
Manipulating human tissue over liquid metal alloy. Absolutely, you have no idea what. You have no idea what kind of technology Jen or NASA possess.
He's deep faking. He deep fakes himself on some Japanese guy that he puts his face on.
Look, your jobs are so sad. You just have to always talk about the person. You guys can't talk about the idea.
What are you talking about? We're using your level of skepticism.
Well, what if we want to make our
own
own picture from the data?
For example,
we want to compile our own
for example,
picture from
the
data.
introduction video on Jin's YouTube channel, I don't believe that's him. I think that the guy that is claiming to be Jin has sampled that guy's voice, has loaded it into a voice changer, and then is now using that voice changer to talk to us here. I don't think this is the real Jin CBR at all. Because it's in a video.
There you go.
Jin CBR is actually in reality a 14-year-old Japanese girl called Kamiko.
What is it? What would it matter though?
There you go.
Address the message,
I'm not hiding.
not the
I'm not
messenger.
hiding, mate. Thank you.
This
Wait a
is a
second, that doesn't
fallacy.
look like Japan.
This is the fallacy when you have the presentation of the
I knew he
argument or
wasn't in
something.
Japan. That looks like Arizona to me.
No, that's actually
What's
me
this
in
fallacy
Spain.
called?
That's me in Spain.
Oh,
That was me in Spain.
okay. So
Oh,
that's
you live in Spain now.
No,
So
no,
you're not gonna-
that was me. That was me in Spain.
Yeah, you're in Spain now. So cool.
Yeah,
Why do you keep saying you're in
No,
Japan?
I'm not. I'm in Japan. I'm not in Spain now.
But that
Man,
picture
this
says
is-
you're in
Show us a
Spain.
picture of you in Spain to prove that you're in Japan, you moron.
Besides, you're
when
not
they
black.
have nothing to talk about, they get it, make it personal about bullshit.
Nice
This isn't
work.
Why don't you all apply the same skepticism you're applying to Jim to the globe?
This is
What you're not understanding is we're applying percent's level of skepticism to Jin.
Yeah, it need not be applied to Jin. Apply it to the thing we're talking about. Stop red herring.
Talking about Jin right now.
I've never met anyone that
it's a
incredulous.
demonstration percentage that if you want to go down your route, you can't prove or commit to anything.
Yes, you can.
And I'm demonstrating that, you know, even though we've got Jin's anecdotal statement that says he's in Japan, you know, that's not proof, that's not evidence. And really, for your standard of evidence, he can't prove he's in Japan unless
I
you've
can.
actually
I've done it many
experienced
times.
it.
I've done it
Beyond a reasonable doubt. Quit trying to make it seem like it's impossible to prove anything. It's fucking
Is this a
retarded.
court?
Well, that's what you have. Every time that you've given something that's reasonable, you cast doubt upon it. Every single time, percentage.
You guys don't provide
Every
any
single
definitive evidence. Zero definitive evidence with the globe.
Yeah, that's the point. There's zero definitive evidence that Jin's in Japan.
You're lying.
First off, you're not contending that. If you're contending it, he could easily just take a
I'm
video.
contending your standard of evidence is unreasonable.
Something that's only in Japan, and then you'd know he's in Japan.
No, because I don't know that that's him in the picture, do I?
You do, because I've shown you my picture.
CBR, whatever, flat Earth. The point is,
it's photoshopped, bro.
No, he's using a voice changer. Sorry, he just sampled that guy's voice and stole it.
You know, we can come up with all forms of doubt to cast upon the evidence. Personally, I accept that Jim's in Japan. I don't have a problem with that. I'm using that as a foil to show the ridiculousness of your position. That's what I'm doing.
It's not ridiculous because you're trying to make it seem like the doubt is not overcome. It is overcome.
So now, according to your standard of evidence, apply that to Jim. Can you say that you know?
Trying to increase it to expand to everything. It's ridiculous.
According to your evidence, your standard of evidence that you've applied reasonably, here, and you've explained, can you say that you know that Jin lives in Japan?
Yes, if he provides a video.
No, with the evidence you've got to date.
Showing he's in Japan?
With what you have now, can you say that you know he lives in Japan?
No, I don't know he lives in Japan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I am in Japan, and here's another image for you to feast your eyes on.
Mate, sorry, I should have explained this to you before. I'm not having a go at that. I don't believe that you live in Japan. I don't accept you live in Japan. I purposely do. I also actually respect the quality of packing on the back of a motorcycle you do. Because I actually zoomed up the image to look, and I was quite impressed with that.
Yeah.
I like the way you did that.
Thank you. Yeah.
So no problems, mate. This is not about you. This is merely about the standard of evidence that percentage wants to demand.
I was on my way to Morocco.
Nice. Oh, did you take the ferry across?
Sorry? Yeah, I took a
Did you
ferry
take the ferry across from Spain?
Yeah, from Gibraltar. Yeah.
Oh, you went to Jib and back across.
Yeah. And then there's another image I said. I just completed, as you know, orange is my favorite color, and I just completed a marathon there, mini marathon. Nothing too heavy, charity run, which we do every year. But in the last 2 years, it hasn't happened because of this stupid COVID-19 crap.
Yeah, it's fucking over everybody's life, mate. Trust me.
But there you go. All right. So there isn't doubt. You know what Jin looks like. I'm in Japan. You can't argue that. Definitely in Japan.
Oh, no. I mean, I was just saying from percentage's position, I can.
But you're not even.
You can zoom in on my number, and you can see the Japanese writing there. You can see me, Japanese man, right? And this guy came in third.
The main point is though, you're not.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Wow, you're like a short Idris Elba, aren't you? Well, that's a very tall Japanese person.
Yeah, he's tall. But I'm not tall anyway. I'm only 5'8.5" anyway, so I'm not tall. But I cast a massive shadow on the heliocentric model and those who follow it.
That's a really cool picture, by the way, Jin. And I'm sorry. I as I say, I should have explained what I was doing a bit clearer to you because I wasn't having a go at you, mate.
Yeah.
It was just
but at least you know I'm not afraid to put myself up there. I'm not afraid because I've got nothing to hide. I am who I am. Because that's going to always be my saving grace. That's me. That's the integrity coming through. I'm not hiding. So that you should have no doubt about me.
Well, again, what we were doing is it's the difference between what people claim and what they can demonstrate, and that was kind of the
I understand that. And I understand we have a high standard, which is like the scientific method, which Jem doesn't like, wants to do away with. But that's
we all like the
we
scientific method, Jim. None of us have a problem with the scientific method. It's just the fact that what you want to do is basically cut the balls off it.
Yeah.
And also the misunderstanding. Sorry, Jim, go on.
So I was going to say, definitely the herocentric balls, yeah.
Well, no, what I'm saying is the fact that, in the scientific method, we don't demonstrate something to be true. We can demonstrate something to be false. So what we can do is we can take a hypothesis and then we can say, well, if this is true, what implications would this have in reality? And then we can compare that hypothesis to reality through experimentation and observation and experimentation.
It's fucking...
Exactly.
No, not exactly. That was bullshit.
No, I'm talking about.
You do show things to be true. You do show things to be true, and that's what you're trying to do when you do it. You're not trying to
you're falsifying.
You're not trying. Can I just get I've been trying to get in for a while now, and I just want to say.
Go on, Jeremy. Go on.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yes, please whine at us.
I'm not whining at you guys. I'm just letting you know what Druss said is wrong.
Please cry at us.
We either prove something. Either way it goes. We prove something. That's all.
Yeah, and we were actually hammering out that the Robert Simmons images being photoshopped, composite, generated on a computer. That's where that happened, and that's known as CGI. And everybody knows that's not a standard for any debate here regarding honesty, integrity, and honor, and the original
which
image
you have
of
none
Earth.
of.
Yeah, which you Aussie cunt, don't even know the meaning of, and you can't even spell it. Shut up, family of criminals.
Honor, integrity, and then calls me an Aussie cunt.
Sit back, you descendant of criminals. Sit back.
Yeah, you're real honourable and integral. Integral. You're real honourable and integral.
Oh,
there,
he's pulling the descended from criminals bit. How long until he tells you to shove used tampons in your mouth?
Well,
Aussie cunts the mate, man. So watch your fucking mouth.
Every single time he opens his mouth, he's always calling percentage cunt. So now it's his turn to get some fucking shit up his back. You mugs.
Yeah, I'm a bit
what does that even mean?
If you want to be amicable, I could be amicable.
You have a shit fetish, Jim? Is that why you're in Japan, bro?
I can accompany you on that as well. All right. Thank you very much. You
kiss my lily white ass.
Anyways, Jen, to be fair, we do not know that the images that Robert Simmons used were completely computer generated. Like were just made from scratch on a computer.
It's the website.
No, but I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's the data.
Actually, Jen, you just said that. You said generated on a computer, which means originated from the computer.
No,
I don't know why you're trying to backtrack all that.
Adam points, right?
I just posted the website. I just posted the website for MODIS, which is the imaging instrument that Robert Simmons specifically mentions. And you can see on there a load. I mean, there's a whole load of different data sets. Things like I've just posted it. Things like ocean temperatures, land temperatures, vegetation levels. There's all sorts of stuff on there.
It's but anyway, not a picture of Earth.
Well, there's lots of pictures of Earth as well. Yes.
It is not the picture of Earth as we see it here on Earth. Okay?
No, of course it isn't. Of course not.
Modest.
It's taken from space.
We can't go to space. That's the problem. And also,
if you want to pretend that that's true,
it's not a pretense. It's not a pretense at all. No scientific evidence for this. So again, you're going to have to provide us.
You just need evidence. You just need evidence. You don't need to pretend that you need scientific evidence for anything. You just need evidence that something occurred.
I need the scientific evidence. What I need.
What scientific evidence that people went to space? You want me to show a scientific experiment that establishes people went to space?
That's what I'm demanding.
So what would be the way?
Yes.
So the best way of doing that would be to do what? I know. How about getting some people and sending them to space?
Oh, yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay. So what you actually need then... So what you actually need then
second law of
shut up, idiot.
You're
what you actually need is evidence that people have gone to space. You don't need a scientific experiment and stop pretending you did.
I need a scientific evidence for all your claims and everything else.
Okay, tell me anything that you currently know to be true that you know to be true because of a scientific experiment.
NASA never went to. Can't go to Mars.
Okay, tell me some. Okay, what was the scientific experiment that you conducted to determine that to be true?
Second law of thermodynamics violation.
Okay, so yeah, but that's just you saying second law. Listen. You've told me you believe this to be true because of a scientific. Listen, moron. Try and listen. You know you're losing. That's why you're talking over me.
I'm not losing.
Okay, so your claim is that this is something that you know to be true because of a scientific experiment. So away you go. Just saying second law of thermodynamics isn't a scientific experiment. Tell me what scientific experiment you conducted to know that NASA have never put anything on Mars, I think was your idiotic claim.
Not only Mars, no satellites can leave Earth. No one can go to the moon, and they're never going to go anytime.
Jin, not interested in your preaching. Show me the scientific experiment. Go.
Or thermodynamics. Okay?
Okay, Jin, that's just you saying second law of thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics isn't an experiment. It's a law.
You can do experiments to observe. Jin, you were wrong.
I don't care what you could do.
Hold on. Let me just say, Jin, you were wrong.
I don't care what you could do.
Experiments will show.
Don't try and save him. I don't care what you could do. That's irrelevant. Jin is claiming this is
and
something.
And I just spoke to that. I said he was wrong to say directly.
Why are you talking over me? This is something he claims to be true because because as a result of a scientific experiment. So let's hear the scientific experiment that has led him to believe this is true. Go ahead, percentage.
I'm simply saying he was wrong to say that directly you could show that you could have a scientific experiment showing you can't go to Mars. But indirectly, we can do a number of experiments that show that these laws, these natural laws, are inviolable, and to go to Mars would require you to violate these natural laws, and so you can't go to Mars that way.
However, that's entirely irrelevant. He's demanding that I show a scientific experiment that people have been to space. I think I'm making the argument that demand is unreasonable. And the reason I'm saying it's unreasonable is because Jin won't be able to tell me any other thing that he knows about reality that he has established with a scientific experiment. He's just throwing it in here because he thinks it'll make things more difficult. It's not a standard that he normally requires or that he has required for anything at all up till now. And I've demonstrated that to be true because he can't name anything that he believes to be true because of a scientific experiment. He just keeps saying second law of thermodynamics in the hope that the big words will just get him off in some way. So that's my point. Endlessly demanding scientific experiments because it's what quantum eraser taught you is idiotic. Stop it.
So after all that word salad, you are absolutely wrong in all of your assumptions. I asked for this standard when we're talking about the Earth and where we live. It requires the scientific method. And as I state again, you will never, ever go to Mars. We won't go, we can't go, and it ain't happening. Second law. Okay?
What's the scientific experiment that you've used to establish that?
All your satellite images are fake. Thank you.
Okay, so I won't even ask you for the scientific experiment that you've done to establish that nothing's been to Mars. I'll ask you for the scientific. Listen. You don't need to explain it again. I'm in the middle of speaking. I won't ask you for that. I'm going to make it even easier for you. All you have to do is show me a scientific experiment. Show me something that you know to be true, because anything that you know to be true about reality, anything at all, you can choose anything that you know to be true because of a scientific experiment. Go ahead.
Thermodynamics.
Yeah, just saying again, Jin, the second law of thermodynamics isn't an experiment. Just saying that over and over again is not an answer to my question. I rest my case. You cannot name a single thing you know to be true because of a scientific experiment. But you can't believe this to be true unless you've got a scientific experiment. That's just intellectual dishonesty and confirmation bias in the extreme.
The second law of thermodynamics is what I'm standing by, and that states that you cannot have Earth in the vacuum of space without a container, otherwise entropy would ensue, and you know that, and that's that, okay? Thank you. No satellites are in space. We don't get no satellite TV from no stinking satellites. Right.
Yeah, and yet I still point my antenna up at the sky.
You keep pointing it up into the sky, you fool, but it's coming from a telecom tower or probably a fiber optic cable. It's not coming from no satellite. And you will notice that your satellite viewpoint, you'd be the only one.
You made a claim, positive claim, prove it.
I just want to see the O's and the ones so I can make my own picture.
I do know that
if you can be bothered to scroll back, if you can be bothered to scroll back a few minutes, I posted all the relevant material which proves to you that satellites cannot exist and don't exist. And I posted them twice.
Why am I being covered?
Double measure.
Why am I being covered by satellite from an undersea cable when I'm?
I don't know. I don't know why you're in your delusional state of mind. You must be on drugs or something. I don't know.
And how does an undersea cable get signal to the dish?
98% of all communications on this earth come through via under the sea.
Now, how does that get to my?
That's a state. That is a fact.
Right. Okay, Jen. How does that get to my device? It's in an undersea cable now. It's going to my device. How does it get?
I have posted the relevant material. Go and look. Go and look, will you?
Okay, so I got an undersea cable.
I posted it twice.
1,000 feet below my boat.
CBR1. You know what I look like. Go and look.
I've got a boat. I'm out in my boat, and I've got a satellite dish, and I'm aiming it up at the sky. Now, how do I get the signal from the cable that's 1,000 feet below me to my satellite
router to a tower to you?
To you, yeah.
To a tower. Okay, so the tower's in the sky.
No, the tower's on the ground.
On
the mountain, on the hills, in the valleys, next to your house.
Why am I aiming
AT&T towers everywhere.
Okay, that's great.
Second law of thermodynamics.
Towers are
cosmic
left
rays
and right
and
of me.
radiation.
Cosmic
rays and radiation.
Towers are left and right of me. How am I aiming my dish upwards to a tower?
Right.
You're not aiming it up. You're aiming it at an angle. Aim it straight up and down if you're aiming it up, liar. Let me see your disc. Let me see the angle it's aiming at. You're saying it's aiming straight up and down. You're a fucking liar.
Yeah,
you're a fucking liar.
Draw a line off that dish. Draw a line off that dish and tell me where that line points to.
That motherfucking dish is not going straight up, you retarded son of a bitch. Anybody who told you that's retarded, it's aiming at an angle.
So it's going up about
at a fucking angle. You said it was going straight up, so quit lying.
Hello. It's going up about 50-degree angle.
Quit lying.
Now, at a 50-degree angle, all the towers that are near my house are way below a 50-degree angle.
So 50-fucking-3 degrees is straight up to you?
I'm approximately 2 miles from the nearest tower.
Is that what straight up to you is 53 degrees? This is your retard globe math we're dealing with?
So let's carry the line out. 50 degrees, 2 miles. How high up is that tower?
Moyak, are you saying your TV comes from the sky?
Seems like it.
Yep.
Yeah, he's tuned into all the alien channels. He gets all the alien channels from space straight up.
I also know that when I moved the dish from Williamsburg, which is approximately, 90 miles from me, when I pointed at that dish, it's only like about a degree and change off from the angle I'm pointing at when I'm down in North Carolina. And they both point generally the same direction, but off by a degree.
So that's in the 2% then.
How high up is this fucking balloon? What tower am I going off of if they're both in the same direction from my house?
You can't deny that satellite TV comes from a satellite. If you do, you're being ignorant.
also done research in what they tell people and how to set up their satellites. I carried through most of the state of Virginia and West Virginia, and I found that every 60, 70 miles you have to change the thing by a fucking degree.
So is the satellite aiming right at your receiver, or is it just blanket in the area and all the receivers
It's blanketing an area, but in order for you to receive it, you have to aim at it. Like all radios. I could use an omnidirectional antenna, but that wouldn't have enough gain.
Boy, that's a lot of energy going out in all directions.
Not really, not all that much.
No.
It's inverse square. Don't quote me, but I believe it's only like 25 to 100 watts.
Yep.
But they got to do all the channels at once, don't they?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't take that much power to broadcast a signal.
I'd just like to apologise for the room if I did anything that deserved me to be muted then, because obviously I must have done something wrong. So I obviously owe everybody an apology for that.
You breathe, Dross. You breathe.
You'd have to tell me where you think this balloon is, or how the signal's getting from my undersea cable, or what tower.
How did the signal get
every
to the
house that I've
satellite?
lived in is south of every house that I've lived in.
How did the signal get to the satellite?
It was
aimed up there.
Oh my god! It was beamed from a
No, but I'm saying, is it? Listen, I've been watching a lot of Expanse. Is it more of like the same thing where there's a big broadcast signal, and from down here, and then all the receiver satellites pick it up, or is it more of a top beam straight to the? Why are you interrupting me?
I wasn't.
Oh, you're going to help. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna. No, it depends on what sort of signal you're broadcasting. So they do it. Like, okay, let's take Sky News, for example. They probably have 4 or 5 satellite dishes. Some of them are going to be smaller than the other ones on their towers, but they're going to be pointing at different satellites. And remember, you and I had a conversation, Don, one day where I said to you, on one of the local estates that they've been building around here, we went out, spent the day pointing the dishes at the satellite, and then when we got to the last one that was right on the edge of the new group of houses, we turned around and looked back at all the dishes and which way they were pointed. They were all pointed in the same direction, but we had to stand there until we heard a yell from downstairs of the people getting their transmission. Like, we had to sit there and like tweak it until we finally got it in the transmission area.
Right.
Now, when we turned around and looked back at them all, when we turned around and looked back at them all, they were all pointing in the same direction, but they weren't facing, like, depending on which house you were looking at, it would be a different tilt to the dish.
So there was like a curve. They were all pointed to the same point, but since they're at different points, they have to be slightly different.
Exactly, yes. But yeah, okay. The transmission ones would probably come from a ground station somewhere where they get all their broadcast data too, and then they pipe it back out through the satellite to everyone that is pointing at that satellite.
Okay.
Satellite's just a high-tech receiver.
So they're pointing kind of up in the sky a little bit, right? They're not pointing to the horizon. They're pointing up in the sky.
None of them. Yep.
Satellite is just a high-tech
so
receiver.
It's like on a globe, maybe they're pointing to the sky. But if it was a flat Earth, maybe there's a tower up there a little higher than you thought it was because it's not curving.
50 degrees. If you have 50 degrees from your house, you only be able to reach things that are like, a 300-foot tall tower would be only a quarter mile away before it would be under your beam.
Right.
And there's another issue with balloons too. Balloons get buffeted by atmosphere, wind. They get knocked around. They lose, the helium that's in them. It decays. The balloon can't stay up there, it can't stay in the one spot. It would get buffeted and knocked around, and a bird might fly through it. It just wouldn't work.
See, on face value, sure, but I'm not so. If we were to say maybe there's hidden knowledge about what's up at above, 300,000 feet or something, maybe they're up there doing funny stuff. Like I don't know, but
probably the easiest way I could suggest you find out about it, Don, is find an area that's got a whole heap of satellite dishes on houses. Find somewhere where you've got like an open field near the houses that you can get a telescope, and then figure out which angle those dishes are pointed at. Sit there during the night and see if you can spot a balloon. or anything with at any time with your telescope. Point it the same direction as the dishes.
Greenwolf, you know how Greenwolf, he does the thing where he says a lot like, I don't think he's saying because they're lower and they cover less area, but he's doing something where like, if the satellites were at a closer altitude or something, we would need like one satellite per square mile for everyone to, or he always postulates we need a lot more satellites for everyone to.
Yeah, we would. And because they're so high up is why we don't need, as many as that.
Okay. Because they can propagate wider basically. But see, I've always hypothesized like, what if they are shooting, just bear with me, but what if they are shooting up to the limits of our atmosphere, or AKA the dome, and then there could be a tighter signal that was, again, I don't know how they go to the satellites. I think y'all were telling me it was a tight signal, but they could tight signal up to the dome, and then it spreads out as it bounces back down. But I don't know. So I don't think they would need balloons or anything either, as long as they can. You guys are admitting that a signal can be transmitted far from the ground to space, so it could reach the dome. Then we're admitting that these signals spread so that, only one satellite needs to generate the signal for multiple receivers. So all that seems to reconcile so far. I mean, if we're compartmentalizing what we know.
And again, the satellite's not actually broadcasting the data itself. It's receiving it from somewhere else and then retransmitting it.
Okay. Well, I don't know the distinction of the term broadcast, but yeah, I feel what you're saying.
Okay. Well, find a picture of something like a Sky News building. Yeah. Find a picture of like a TV broadcast station or something like that, and have a look at how many dishes they actually have on like the major networks and things like that. They've got a fuck ton of them on top of the buildings.
They're not coming from satellites in space, though. That's the problem. They're not coming from satellites.
Well, they're all pointing up towards. They're all pointing up towards space. So there has to be something up there that's rebroadcasting those transmissions, doesn't there?
They're not pointing up. They're pointing at an angle forward, and they're pointing forward to the next.
They're pointing towards the sky, aren't
they? They're pointing towards each other. You retarded motherfucker.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. Show me one that's pointing straight up in the air.
Pointing towards the satellite dish in
53 degrees
space,
is not
and then
up
there'll
in
be
the sky,
another dish on the satellite that's receiving the transmission from where it's originally receiving it from.
Now you're delusional again.
Dipshit, why would you need to shoot a signal to fucking up in the air to space? How's that going to help your TV?
To get it where it needs to go around the globe.
Right.
You redirect it. You use the satellite that's in space to redirect it.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely right.
Why do you need a router then? Why do you got a cable router in your house?
That's different. It's a different system.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's all
That's
different.
Completely different.
It's the fucking same, idiot.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It just depends on how you connect it or not.
Okay, so how long have you been working in telecoms then?
How long have you?
In my family,
exactly. Shut the fuck up, retard.
Between my family, we've probably got about 80 years of experience in telecommunications.
Yeah, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You say 53 degrees is pointing straight up in the air. That's how retarded you are.
I've worked with it since I was about 20. I'm 40 this year.
Fuck what you work with. You play with your Peter too, but you ain't got one of those either.
You're the idiot that's fucking blabbering on that this wouldn't work, and I'm the one that's actually worked with it, so I think I'm a little bit more qualified to talk about it.
You're a fucking liar.
Is DMOG adding anything to the discussion? Because DMOG is, it's like bullshit.
Yeah, well, don't be a worthless liar. Jose, shut the fuck up, you piece of shit. You fucking retard shitbag.
What would DMOG ever add to any conversation?
Common sense, 53 degrees is straight up.
Well, let me laugh at that, DMOG.
Show me how 53 degrees is straight up. Go show me your straight up satellite, motherfucking liar.
I've actually got experience working with this
reality,
talking about.
Why don't you just
so you've got common sense, and I've got experience.
You from fucking lying.
Which one of us does that make more knowledgeable on it?
53% is not straight up in the fucking air.
Which one of us knows more
your
about
experience is fucked.
So your common sense
your experience sounds retarded.
Does it? So
your retarded experience
trumps my experience, does it?
Listen.
I have 34 years in the industry of cell phones. My father was telephone, and my grandfather was Bell Labs.
Right, and you told the truth of 53 degrees. You didn't say it pointed straight the fuck up. First you did, but then you told the truth about 53 degrees.
I said it's up. It's 53 degrees.
Nobody's answering that.
Well, 53 degrees isn't straight up. You guys keep saying the word straight up. Do you know what terminology and words mean?
No one said
90
straight up.
degrees.
You
90
fucking
degrees.
retards. The three of you said straight up.
Nobody
You said straight up at satellites.
Nobody said straight up.
Dimok, if you have to lie to make your point,
or else I wouldn't even have brought it up, idiot.
All right, Dimok.
if you have to lie to make your point, maybe your point wasn't strong.
I said they point. I said they point towards the sky.
We were loosely, we were loosely talking about it. That could be my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Satellites.
Oh, it might have been Don that said it. Shit, I don't know. Well, I just heard Wilbur saying it.
Remember, D-Mark, I said they were kind of pointing to the sky, not the horizon. Maybe we're exaggerating the straight up portion of it. But.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So maybe you should keep track of the conversation, Dimong, instead of coming in like.
Hey, he's not the only one that said it. There was three of you that said it. Do you remember what I said?
Maybe you should keep track of the.
Maybe you should keep track of your dick suckers and what they say. Keep track of your own fucking mouth and what it says and the other three boys that you're trying to stick up for. Listen, when you're trying to stick up for retards and you don't listen to what they say, that's your fault.
For you. Sorry, no, I won't stick up for you.
You're sticking up for yourself. You're the retard. You and the other three guys
sticking up for anyone. Least of all you.
Well, learn how to fucking speak. Don't say a satellite.
Learn how to follow a conversation then. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, what's straight up mean to you?
Everybody here heard what was said, Demont.
Yeah, they heard straight the fuck up, and I clarified that's not straight up. It's 53 degrees.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I kind of have to agree with Dimok here. If Dimok misunderstands something and then lies about it, yes, it's all your fault. You're being retards.
Oh, if I hear you say straight up and your buddy say straight up and your other buddy say straight up and then I correct you about it, that's what?
Again.
Yeah, straight up to the satellites. They're pointing up to satellites.
Said that. Never said that.
That's what you said.
It's okay. Listen, it's okay, man.
Yeah, they are pointing at satellites. They are pointed at the satellite.
Nice story.
No, Robert Simmons images have no place in a debate when you're trying to find out what the shape of your ball is. Okay, so
you still have to provide any
evidence. Neither have you provided any evidence for the actual rotation of spin of your said oblate spheroid that is very elusive.
No, you were saying that satellites don't exist. You said satellites.
Absolutely, yes, that's correct.
That's what we're talking about. And if you deny that satellite TV dishes,
satellite TV doesn't come from the space,
then you're lying to yourself.
I do like how you abridged that, though. Listen, he amended it to, Jen. He amended it to pointing at the sky. It was good. It was honest.
Actually, I posted the material for the third time. I posted the material that proves to you guys that satellites are not coming from space, geostationary, or alike. No. That would be a second law of thermodynamics violation. For sure.
No, it's not. Jin, you are the human equivalent of a participation award.
I like that.
Jose, you died, man. I didn't hear whatever you said. You died.
I hope you could have got.
You're not pretty enough to be stupid, bro.
I didn't hear that, Jose. I think you're, what are you wallowing in your cesspit of shit and abyss? What's wrong with you, man? Wake up, man. Get it out properly, yeah?
I think he said you're not pretty enough to be stupid.
Please speak the Queen's English properly, yeah? Jose? You traitor?
I think it sounds like
whoever told you before to be yourself could have given you a worse advice, bro.
Oh, don't worry, mate.
You do good from the toilet, Jose. You're being yourself.
Yeah.
Big old shitball.
I could give you.
Crawl back into that cesspit where you come from, Jose. That's where
he's in the outhouse.
Stay there, wallow in your self-pity of shit. Okay.
Why would someone from the States speak the Queen's English? Like, if you don't understand history, that's kind of what they got away from.
That's the standard we want. Thank you very much.
That's
okay. If that's the standard, what you want, maybe that's a you problem.
From Jose,
that might be a you problem, sir.
I hit the sweet spot. He's on me. He's onto me. I hit the sweet spot. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm missing it. Are they saying they're in the US, Jim?
I'm loving it.
I had to add that as a quote, Jose. Jin, you aren't pretty enough to be stupid. Love it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Man, y'all have had some big numbers in here, man. I said, man, they ain't always talk about these hot new bangers, man. They talk about the same old shit. But they got so many numbers. I'm gonna go ahead and see what y'all talking about, man. What y'all think? I mean, when are we gonna admit though that that the Harvard guy is right and that the aliens threw a rock at us? I mean, when are we gonna admit it? Why are we bullshitting? Why are we denying the experts? What's going on?
Just talking about the angles to things. From my house to the nearest tower, yep. I would have to aim at about 1.7 degrees off of level. Horizontal.
So you're saying you're pointing close to the horizon then?
No, I would have to point at 2 degrees.
Oh, I get what you're saying on a
the nearest tower.
Okay.
So they're pointing straight out on a flat plane.
He's saying they would have to. I believe.
Listen, on a ball you can point. Listen, on a ball you can point any fucking direction, and every direction is space. Listen to me, man. So all the bullshit they talk, they can stick up their ass.
Between where I'm actually pointing and where the tower would be.
Yeah, they got it wrong again. You see, they're exposing their hand time. If you're pointing it,
all right. So
that's on the flat Earth. That's on the flat Earth.
Why am I pointing it? The nearest tower to me is 2 degrees elevation, and I'm pointing my antenna at 53 degrees.
Well, what if you're intercepting where that tower's emitting to? Like maybe because they don't aim at the. Let's say you have a circle of possible propagation out of the tower.
No, Don, you're thinking about it wrong. Listen. Well, hold on. Real quick. You're at my house. I'm at your house, right? You got a signal. I got a signal. You point yours 53. I point mine 53. They meet.
That's right. So that's what I mean. Like maybe the top half of the tower circles out. The top hemisphere, but the bottom hemisphere doesn't. And so you're
okay. I'm assuming a 200 foot.
Don, you have to realize here that the receiver that he has doesn't project a comb to go and grab signal and pull it to him.
No, I understand.
It's like a magnifying glass. It takes, when you get it lined up, it takes all the little incident angles of those and combines them together into one feed horn. If I turn it off by one flat, if I take the adjustment nut and I spin it by one flat, my signal will degrade markedly.
Yep.
So
I get it. Right.
That was probably like the most time-consuming part of the job, as a matter of fact, getting them all fucking aligned until we heard the yell from downstairs. Oh, we finally got it.
You move that damn thing. It's a fine thread bolt with a nut on it, and you adjust that nut by one flat at a time, and you go from signal to no signal in the course of a couple of flats.
Look, I believe you, but I know you're smart enough to
because that little piece of metal you're telling me
other reconciliations. Like maybe my thing about the top sphere signal is a little loose. Maybe it's a tight beam. Like maybe there's just a straight beam up, and you got to hit right onto that. I mean, I understand that.
Everybody sees it the same way.
Don,
think of it this way, Don.
If it's a straight beam up, no beam is coming down to the receiver. The receiver doesn't reach up and grab the goddamn beam.
Are you saying they have to point at each other?
Well, think of it this way.
You were talking about receiving.
Do you ever remember having to
from a satellite to
tune a TV
your
into
satellite.
the point where you
From
got
the satellite
get a
to
picture
your
on
dish.
it? So you plug your shut up, Demok. So you'd plug your TV into the wall. You've got your aerial set up.
Talking about it
now you'd have to sit there and tune it in like little bit by little bit until you got a picture. Think of it that way. You'd have to sit there with the satellite dish and tune it in until you got the signal. Same thing as
I'm with you. I promise.
That's how it's
But what I'm saying is, let's try to brainstorm like what the necessary ingredients of this process are, and then try to be honest at what counter models could be.
A source signal.
There's no counter model that includes point receiver at overhead beam that is not hitting receiver and receive signal. If the beam is not hitting the receiver, you will get no signal.
What's the ionosphere or the ion that it bounces off of?
I would buy that.
I see what you're saying.
The fact that would be a somewhat random source of signal, and because shooting things in the ionosphere doesn't yield an exact precision location every time.
Did things bounce off of it?
Yes.
They do
Some
bounce
do.
on
Some-
the
yeah,
they
some
bounce
do.
on the
supposedly
ions,
have this
right?
tight focus, and
They,
the
they
ions
do,
plane.
but not at the frequencies in question. These frequencies are way outside the limits of skybox.
Oh yeah, I know. Everything's way outside the limits, but we're doing great with it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like 3 megahertz, I think, is a typical sky bounce, like typical high end, or is it 30? I don't remember. But 3 to 30, somewhere in there. And we're talking in multiple gigahertz.
I pick up Skip on my CB radio at times. I can hear Atlanta, Georgia from freaking Dallas, Texas. But the
There you
signal
go.
comes and goes. It does not.
It's called Skip. What's
How
your
many
point?
megahertz is CB?
You know what a McDonald's arch is like,
I'm
right?
gonna look it
That's
up.
what the
Give me a
signal
sec.
does.
I'll find
it
the-
goes
the-
boing,
I'll
boing,
find the
boing,
power
boing,
output.
boing.
But it's not constant, is my point.
I got a.
Well, no, it's called Skip. It bounces from point to point to point like Tigger.
I had cable for
On the ground, it ain't got shit to
20
do with the
years.
fucking satellite. It's a CB does it too.
I've had 20 years of uninterrupted service.
A
except during
CB does it
rainstorms.
too. It's not using a fucking satellite,
No,
idiot.
but I can do over 20 years. I have
Right, but it's talking Skip the same way. It's a CB the same way.
Randomly, you can get a
The signal comes and goes.
How is it different?
Hold on, Democ. Hold on. Quick question. When you're aiming a satellite dish, expecting to receive signals, how do those signals bend in the atmosphere, or do they go perfectly straight?
I don't know. They generally
They widen just like any other source of like a laser or anything else. That's how they would
No,
act.
but apparently they don't, though. Apparently they don't make it far past where they're
Well,
generated.
no, they can't go super far. No, only the watt is pushing them.
Past where they're generated.
We only get to use 4 watts. Unless
That's what I
it's
mean, man.
FCC
I'm saying
certified.
you have to aim everything tightly at
The FCC gets to
the
use
whole
more
array
than
of
4 watts.
receivers have to be aiming right at that. What I'm saying, if the receivers are,
They're all aiming towards each other, like I told
they
you.
have to be aiming right at it. Is what
If
he's
they're
saying.
all aiming at 50 degrees this way and that way in the same direction.
Dimmock, you do realize on a
So
flat
we
Earth,
got
that
one
means that they're all
satellite
pointing
for the
in
whole
different
world,
places,
right? We're all listen, hold on a second. So we got
Dimmock.
one
No,
satellite
Dimmock,
here
listen
where
for a
all
second, my man.
dishes face 53 degrees. Can you point that satellite that sat there at 53 degrees in the air for me?
What I think is
Get
too,
that one?
Democ, is the satellites never move, Democ. You put your
Yo,
satellite
how
dish
does
on your house, and it's like it forever.
You guys are
That's
missing a key
Right.
component.
So how the
that's
fuck
actually
does
not
that make
true, Don.
sense
How
with
does-
moving
All right, I'm
satellites
sorry, I
around the
stand
planet?
corrected. Davros has the voice of reason.
You guys are missing a key
Sorry.
component here. How do the
I have a question.
component,
I have a question.
How do the waves move through the air?
They propagate.
Power.
Spread out.
Electromagnetic.
They're
Beam, you have to
straight.
point something exactly at.
Line of sight.
It depends on the beam pattern.
Can I
That
Pattern
pause?
for the ones the one
Go
we're
ahead,
talking
Nagata.
about where you got to aim them up at the sky. How do those?
Sorry, I only need like 60 seconds. I just got a question that's
Yeah, well,
unrelated. And you guys, and Jeremy can get back to what he's talking about. Quadratic equations. Any of you guys talented in understanding them?
They're going to be plus or minus.
That's about the limits of the algebra that I can do, Negator. That's about it.
I looked at them for a few seconds or on one of my daughter's exams, and my brain is kind of breaking. I'm trying to find someone that maybe this evening can talk me through it.
I'll talk you through it later, but
Not you.
for now, let's.
Negate,
remember the
I
key.
can help.
You
Are you
have
trying
to
to
abide by the
complete the
rules.
square or solve the solution, get the solution for it, or?
I don't know yet, man. Are you going to be around this evening?
Sure.
All right, I'll hit you up then.
Nope. Say medium. No
Either
problem.
hit Rocket or me up, and we'll help you.
Yeah, Damien. Do you know what a quadratic equation is, Jeremy? What's the form of it?
Listen, if he wants help, just let me know, and I'll help him out. But otherwise, let's get back to how these rays are moving through the sky.
Minus square root.
You'll just get your math guy onto it.
Okay, let's get back to how these beams travel through. We got the satellites pointed up, receiving a signal. How does that signal air from the point that it comes from?
Well, it has a battery
Not you,
or
John.
sun energy, Jeremy, and it needs
Not you.
very little power to broadcast all these signals. They were telling us.
just
Why can't I
wrong.
be honest with my man for like
Because
10
it's what you're
seconds?
saying is wrong.
No, it isn't. We went over it 20 minutes ago. You weren't here, Rocket.
This thing shoots a beam out, shoots a signal out. Does it spread out in a waveform? Is it a beam you have to point directly at?
I think he's mad at the solar thing, Jeremy. I was kidding around with the power source.
Jeremy, it is a waveform. Just like sound, light is a waveform as well.
It all
we can
widens.
measure this, right? Which is
It all widens and
which
weakens.
is why which is why we can pass information. So when it comes to passing information. We already know that we can find the peaks and troughs for these waves. So the information is added onto these peaks and troughs, right?
All right, I just needed a how it travels answered. So it's moving in this waveform. So why do we have to point the dish directly at it if it's coming?
It's a tight beam, Jeremy. It's a tight,
You just
tight
said it's a
beam.
wave, Don.
All right, I'd like to.
A tight wave,
Jeremy, imagine
A beam is a collection of waves.
Jeremy, imagine this. If you take a flashlight and you shine it out in your backyard, it lights the whole backyard, but it lights it sort of dimly, right? Now, if I took a reflective lens and I concentrated all the light that was hitting a square meter of yard and beamed it at one point, it would get really bright at that one point. Did you concentrate all the energy? That's what a dish is doing. The whole country is illuminated like it's a flashlight, and it works almost the exact same as a flashlight.
So it's bending. So these waves are bending.
That's a good analogy, actually.
Back later.
Would you say it was like a sound wave?
I'll just.
Did somebody say it was like a sound wave?
No,
you said light.
No,
light.
no one said that.
So is it? It's bending like light in the air then?
It's at the frequency it is. It's not very susceptible to refraction.
Like light.
No,
so it's not
very susceptible to refraction.
Wait a minute.
Is there any tests done on this or anything? Or you just
The satellite. Yeah, the satellite signals that people get every single day. That was the test, and it works.
No.
It doesn't change with weather, temperature. It only changes with rain, and that's where it just blocks.
I've been in a snowstorm before. I've been in a snowstorm before and not been able to. It had a choppy signal.
Yes, that's rain. That's water.
Snow is rain. Okay. Snow is rain. Just
Essentially.
so we're clear.
Essentially, you're dealing with water in the atmosphere. Also, your dish is getting coated in snow, which when I get about 1 inch of snow on my dish, I'm fucked.
So these beams don't really bend that much, but they do bend?
I don't know if they bend at all that I need to worry about. They don't seem to vary. Let's put it that way.
They don't bend, no.
Aren't we getting different refraction?
They don't bend for starters, no. That's just, they don't bend at all.
There's essentially, first off, even if it was light, even if it was white light, green lasers, whatever, essentially, once you get up to the angle of 40 degrees, you got fuck all refraction.
Really? Even with clouds and stuff, though?
That's kind of interesting. Yeah, fuck all refraction.
You don't know that.
Because you were mentioning the water and stuff, so clouds don't give you much of a problem?
It's not refraction. That actually is absorption, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, but how do the density different? I guess not, right? It assimilates to the similar density. That's why it's in that position, I guess. Or wait, I'm tripping.
So this shit goes straight through clouds.
Dispersion.
This shit goes straight through clouds and doesn't bend.
Diffraction.
And thunder clouds, you can't make it through.
Right.
So
it's a diffraction of the signal coming down.
So go through clouds.
So just like everything else, like light and everything else, when it hits a certain, a thicker medium or something like that, it's going to diffract that beam.
Okay, I got to reconcile for you guys. I got to brainstorm. Okay, I understand that we dismiss the beaming to the dome and then picking off of the bounce because of the D term that you used. Whatever, but yeah, basically would be dispersed too thin or whatever. But what if everybody's aiming right to that contact point on the dome? Now that would make sense. I think maybe it'd be kind of similar. All right, butt scratcher.
Who's doing that?
Chin.
Who's scratching their butt?
You were butt scratching.
So how does it propagate through a vacuum then?
Look,
no problem. It doesn't require.
There's nothing there to interrupt. There's nothing there to interrupt it in the signal in a vacuum. Why would it get interrupted in a vacuum?
It seems to propagate better in the
space is empty.
I thought it propagated through the medium though, like a wave.
Yeah, the medium inhibits.
A vacuum is a type of a medium.
Somebody said it's like a sound wave, Nick.
Okay, but then you understand there's electromagnetic waves? Hang on, there's electromagnetic waves, and then there are mechanical waves. They're different types of waves. This is an example of electromagnetic
Can you
waves.
address, since you know about the waves, Snack, can you address my query?
I
They
can't
also
wrap
don't
my
have a perfect
brain
vacuum
around
anywhere.
the nonsense that you're trying
So
to.
it's not really going through.
Here's what I'm saying. Say we send a tight beam up to the glass dome, right? It would hit at that dome, but then it would bounce back and be dispersed in all directions, and it'd be a weak signal.
Sure. Why not?
But could we hypothesize that right at the contact point, it might be a strong signal?
What would?
Okay, say no. I just want to hear.
Wait, guys, hang on.
Don,
Don, if it were the way that you were saying, Don, if it were the way that you were saying, then on a flat Earth they couldn't be looking. They wouldn't be looking at the same angle to the same singular.
Fuck flat Earth.
They would all
Fuck
have
flat
to look
Earth.
at different
What if it's a
points.
globe? What if it's a globe and this is happening?
If it's a globe, there's no reason to assume there's a dome.
No. What if it's a globe and there's a glass ceiling on the globe? Let's go with that.
It wouldn't be a
There's no
ceiling.
reason to assume that.
See, but that's the problem. I just want to have this. Just let's
Okay. Don, that's an idiotic way to have the discussion. Honestly, I'll just say that
Guys,
straight up.
we're in here talking about flat Earth. Like, what is the problem? I just want to talk about the physics behind. If we send a beam about the dispersion, can we beat the dispersion before it bounces back?
Okay,
What is the problem?
All right, let's humor you and think that there's a glass fucking shell around Earth.
Or there's a bounce layer, whatever.
So if there was something like that there and it was thick enough, it would probably spread the pattern out until it got back into well, I mean, it wouldn't refocus once it got back into space, but you'd have wider dishes on the satellites that are up there so that they could then collect the signal because it's been scattered through that glass, whatever.
Wouldn't the satellites
Okay,
be-
so who doesn't know the difference between mechanical and electromagnetic waves?
Wouldn't the satellites
Don.
be closer if they're directly above you, other than a couple of
Jeremy.
degrees off the horizon?
Jeremy,
well,
do
it's
you-
not. It's not just a couple of degrees off the horizon, Brian.
I didn't say shit about. Do these
Well,
waves
I've
bend?
just looked out of my window, and every satellite.
Yes,
just round-
waves are subject to Rayleigh scattering. They're subject. They function like just like
That was the
anything
one I was
else.
looking for. Yeah, Rayleigh scattering. That was it.
Oh, look
So
at me.
these waves the satellite dish is getting is they're being
Any wave
refracted.
can bend. Any wave can scatter.
All right,
Any
are
wave
they being
can
refracted
bend
by?
a number
Does it
of
work
things.
the same way refraction?
I know.
works
Let's
with
all
light?
go out and take some pictures of satellite dishes now. Go on.
I don't have to. I've worked with them. I've seen them.
That's what I mean. That's the only point that Jen kind of started that topic, and that's why I'm just trying to postulate. It doesn't matter flat Earth to me. It doesn't matter dome. I'm trying to be like, are the satellites guaranteed?
Yeah, but those satellites are not in space. That's the thing.
Well, if we're just gonna, what if the Earth was made of cotton candy? Why don't we talk? That's Don. If we're gonna talk
Sure.
about what if
I
the
think-
Earth
yeah, I get
had a
you, buddy,
dome
but
over
mine's
it,
a little more productive than yours, but I get you. I get your point.
it's not productive. It's just saying, what if nonsense were true?
Well, but see, I don't think I've really posted nonsense. Like, these are standard, like, scientific thoughts that there would be a shell. Like, it might.
What scientist thinks
It
there
might
may
be
be a shell
outdated
over
and
the
everything,
Earth?
but there never was a cotton candy theory. You know what I mean? Like, so
I
whatever.
mean, I just came up with it, dude. I literally just came up with it. You're seeing science in action. It's the snack cotton candy theory of
you're not, but you're not being genuine.
What's the
and you
cause
know that.
of? You have a cause and effect relationship, or you got your bullshit?
Yeah, I see cotton
Do you have
candy
your
exists. I like cotton candy. Therefore, I think the Earth must be
Snack,
made of
thanks
cotton
for your
candy.
energy. I didn't mean to piss you off, man. Like, but there's difference in the sincerity levels, man.
Don't I support the cotton candy theory?
All right, cool. Y'all have fun with it.
Now
Tell me
water
more
sprays
about
out
it.
of
Tell me more about
a
it.
nozzle.
It appears the lower the frequency, the lower the index of refraction. So
You're all over the fucking place.
Okay, so
You're all over the
I'm
place. You need fucking
as the server's as the server's current wave expert. What do you want to ask me, Jeremy?
Why? You won't let me get a whole sentence out ever.
I literally just gave you 5 seconds to say anything, and that's what you chose to say. That's
All
pathetic.
right, do the waves bend like light does?
Light is made up of both waves and particles. So any wave will function like any other wave. Like in the sense that it is subject to hang
So it
on.
can come down
In
and
the
drop
sense
and
that
splash
hang on. in the sense that it will bend, it will bounce, it will refract, it will reflect, it will do all these things.
Like water.
Oh, no, water's not a wave. Water
isn't a wave?
No, water is not a wave.
What the fuck? Water doesn't okay. Waves in the ocean
No,
doesn't
hang
exist
on.
now.
Look what you just did.
Water doesn't
You
wave.
said, hang on, you said water is a wave.
You said water's not a wave.
It's not a wave.
Water
And then you
is
said,
wave.
oh, so
Water does
water
wave.
doesn't wave?
Water
So
sprays,
something like
it
a flag
waves, it
can
go
wave.
hard, it
Hang
can be
on.
like a beam,
Hang on.
it can
Wait,
be a
wait. Yeah, I don't know
laser.
if you're being genuine or not, but like,
No,
for
I'm being
example,
serious.
a flag
Depending on
can
the
wave.
nozzle you put out or
A
the way you
flag
put
can
the
wave.
spray.
Jesus Christ. Just
Well, what's
listen.
your
A
point?
flag can
We
wave.
didn't talk about
That doesn't
flag.
make
We're
a flag
talking about
a wave.
propagation of fucking mediums and radio waves and waves of fucking.
Water's not a wave. Move on.
A flag is not radio waves and it's not water. No, when Jeremy asked how
Okay,
how
okay,
the shit
okay.
can
So
work,
I'm just
it
gonna
can work the way
Jeremy,
you
just
say you
ignore
put it
demo.
out.
Continue.
So these waves that the satellite's getting, they bend just like refraction with light, right?
No, they get out wider.
Light
like
is also
water.
a wave.
Like
Yes.
water sprays
They are
out of the
subject
thing.
to
You
the
can
same
get wider
kind of
and wider
refractive
and wider.
principles. There's something called the I can't remember.
Did you hear Denmark talking?
I mean,
What made you
I
think
turned
other
him.
people can hear you when Denmark's talking.
He's gonna just talk. You're gonna have to turn him
Well, we
down.
can't
He's
hear
not
you. If
contributing.
he's talking and you're talking, I can't hear you.
Okay,
So why would you-
that's why you turn him down, because you know he's not saying anything of value.
No, don't do that,
We're
dude.
trying to. I mean,
all
I
that does is make a load of trouble that we have to then unravel.
Well, could you put him on a leash or something?
Should I put you on a leash?
I mean, I'm trying to educate flatties. That's I got.
Should I put you on a leash?
I'm here for about 5 more minutes, so you don't have to put up with me, but for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, well, tell us about your wave.
So what question were you asking, Jeremy?
These waves that the satellite dish is getting are subject to the same refraction that light's being subjected to.
Okay, the things that cause light to refract and reflect and bounce and all that other kind of stuff are the same things that, not universally, because different waves have different properties, but most waves are still subject to those same kind of effects.
Jeremy, the answer is yes. Okay, and what's your next point? Because it's not just going around with it. Yes.
Well, he was talking
Is
about
the answer to your question. What's your next point?
Cypher Davros, one of those weirdos, was saying that
Mm-hmm.
you have to point them very specifically at this very specific spot that was very hard to get to, right?
Yes, Jeremy. It's a function of your link margin and your beam
So they're
pattern.
very hard to
So
get.
there's something called Huygens principle.
So you got to point it at this very precise, specific spot for this day.
Until
Then
you
as
hear
time
someone
goes-
yell out from until you hear someone from in the house yell, "Finally got it!"
Yep. Then tomorrow comes the next day and the refraction changes. Then what? You go back and fix it every time for them?
The
Well,
refraction
unless-
changes by
They
less
call
than
you
a
up and
degree,
say-
Jeremy.
Yeah,
call
and
you up and
unless
say, "Oh, refraction."
unless a tree branch has come off a tree and knocked one of the dishes out of alignment, no, we won't have to.